calling to order Historic Landmarks Commission, April 8th, 2026. So let's start with roll call.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. I'll begin with Chair Grumbine.
Present.
Commissioner Butler?
Here.
Commissioner Dorden?
Here.
Commissioner Ensberg?
Present.
Commissioner Lodge?
Here.
And Commissioner McClure?
Yes.
We have quorum. Thank you.
All right. Okay, on to public comment. So any member of the public may address the commission for up to 2 minutes on any subject within our jurisdiction that is not scheduled on this agenda for public discussion. So anyone want to comment on something not on the agenda today?
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. At this time, I don't have any speaker slips for in-person public comment under general, though I would like to remind the audience that if anyone wants to speak under a specific item, you can fill out a speaker slip on the pink clipboard that's on that far wall and bring it up to me, and I will call your name under that item. But if anyone wants to speak under general, you can approach the podium at this time. Otherwise, I will move on. But I'm not seeing any movement towards the podium, and we do not have any participants online with us. But we will acknowledge that we received written correspondence from Norris Goss and Kevin Boss, and give it back to you.
All right, thank you. All right, on to item B, approval of the minutes of Historic Landmarks Commission, March 25th, 2026. All right, do I have a motion? All right, Commissioner Butler, do I have a second? All right, thank you, Commissioner Lodge. All right, so here are the minutes. Do we have any edits? Changes?
Hi,
Commissioner Ensberg.
thank you very much. I just had a couple questions. One was on the paving. This might not be in the right order, but the discussion about the paving that we had the courtesy review. Is it normal that we just there isn't any detail about the discussion? Is that normal, or do we expect the public to go in and watch the hearing if they want to know what transpired?
Yes,
or?
through the chair to Commissioner Ensberg, yes, because it was just a courtesy review and there was no motion made and there was no formal comments that were outlined. We just leave it as discussion held, and if the public is curious about how that discussion went, they can view the recording.
Okay. And then what was the other thing? Can you scroll? Not so fast. There was something else. No, not in the reports. I think it was before. Well, it's eluding me. It must not have been important. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other edits? All right, roll call vote for approval of the minutes, please.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden?
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg?
Yes.
Commissioner McClure?
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge?
Yes.
And Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. On to item C, approval of the minutes of Historic Landmarks Commission consent meeting for March 25th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Dorden.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Butler, thank you. All right, and to the commission, do we have any questions or clarifications for the consent calendar? All right, seeing none, well, let's have a roll call vote for approval.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Ensberg.
Yes.
Commissioner McClure?
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge?
Yes.
Commissioner Butler?
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden?
Yes.
And Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, great. Now, item D, ratification of action taken on the consent calendar of April 8th, 2026. So to staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item A was 215 Bath Street, which was continued to the staff hearing officer and to return to consent with the following comments. The colors should be compatible with the guidelines and will be reviewed by the architectural historian. 2, the project compatibility findings have generally been met. And 3, confirm that an alternative landscape design waiver is not required. Item B was 22 West Islay Street, which received project design approval and final approval with findings. Item C was 1115 State Street, which received project design approval and final approval with project compatibility findings. Item D was 514 State Street, which received project design approval and continued to staff for final approval with the comment that the patio furniture and pot palettes should be darker colored by 2 or 3 shades, and then the project compatibility findings and minor alteration findings. And then the final item was 924 Garden Street, which received final approval as submitted with the comment that the plans substantially conform to the plans that received project design approval on February 25th, 2026. And that is all for consent.
Thank you. Yep. All right, any discussion about the consent calendar? All right, hearing none, let's have a roll call vote for ratification.
Can I get a
A
motion?
move to do that.
What's that?
Do we need a move?
Yeah.
We need a motion.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So do we
Let's
have a
do it.
motion? Yes. Okay, thanks. And is there a second?
Second.
Second, all right. Under discussion, any further discussion? All right, and then now let's have a roll call vote for ratification.
All right, thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner McClure.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden,
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so now we're on to item E, announcements, requests by applicants for continuances and withdrawals, future agenda items, and appeals. All right, Mr. Hamilton?
Afternoon, Commissioners. Ted Hamilton, Role Design Review Supervisor. In big news, we have our new architectural historian, Ashley Thomas Pate, joining us today. Ashley started on Monday, so please join me in welcoming her. She comes to us from Denver, Colorado, with a mix of public and private sector experience, and in Denver, she worked on Larimer Square. So Ashley, if you want to say a few words as well, you're welcome to. But yeah, we're really happy to have her on board.
Yeah, please.
Just wanted to say hi and excited to be here and looking forward to working with you all.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great to have you. Yes. So we very much look forward to working on all the projects together. So, okay. All right. So now, any other announcements, etc.? Yep. Oh, Commissioner oh, yes.
Just
Ms. Kinda.
an FYI that I think the State Street Master Plan is headed to council on April 28th. That's Tuesday, April 28th. So please share with your networks.
All right. Great. Thank you for letting us know. All right. Any other analysis? Yep.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chair Grumbine. I just want to ask, we keep asking about the possibility of having agendized a discussion, a full discussion about HLC and our purpose for being here in the world, in Santa Barbara. And so would just want to see where that's at. I think the last time that we asked about that was on March 11th. And so I just want to know if you can share with us what the thinking is and when we might expect that to happen.
I don't have any further updates on when we'll be able to agendize that item. I think we're prioritizing our development projects right now, and then we'll have quite a few structure of merit applications coming through before the Mills Act applications are due. So we're prioritizing the projects that are coming through right now, and I'll let you know when I have more information about the discussion item.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Any other announcements, etc.? All
Mr.
right.
Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Lodge.
there was some discussion here about our having a look at the State Street Master Plan before it went to the council. And whatever happened to that?
So, I'll let, well, do you want to handle it? So so we had a
Ms. Kokina
discussion,
can-
the short version is, we had a discussion, but there's already a clear, and I think we got the answer from the city administrator in email form that outlined what the process was and why, which included going to city council first and then coming to us after it goes to city council as part of the other entities that will be making comments on it. So I think that was the answer that was given from the city as to that. So, does that fair?
Correct.
A fair
Yes,
summary?
I was just going to have you refer to the email that you received from the city administrator, and and Ms. Kokina can correct me if I'm incorrect. There's nothing going for approval at city council. They just need direction on some kind of preliminary things before they can start finalizing design to bring to HLC for review.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions about future agenda items, et cetera? All right, let's go on to item F, subcommittee reports. Any subcommittee reports? All right, not seeing any. We will close that, and now we are on to, we are a whole 3 minutes early. And we are on to the continued item, item number 1, the historic resource survey. This is a draft San Roque Historic Context Statement and Historic Resources Survey Report. This is a review of the draft of the San Roque Historic Context Statement and Historic Resource Survey Report prepared by South Environmental. Upon receiving a grant from the California Office of Historic Preservation, the City of Santa Barbara partnered with South Environmental to prepare a historic context statement for the San Roque neighborhood and conduct a historic resource survey to identify and document potentially significant properties that may be eligible for local designation. This is requesting acceptance of the San Roque Historic Context and Resource Survey. This decision is not appealable. It was last reviewed on March 11th, 2026. All right, so with that, why don't you introduce yourself for the record? We'll go over the minutes from that last review, and then you can have up to 15 minutes, but you don't have to take the whole time to go through.
Always my goal.
All right.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Sarah Corder, Principal Architectural Historian, South Environmental, here to provide another update on the San Roque Historic Context Statement and Historic Resources Survey Report. On today's agenda,
I'll actually go through the motion from last time.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And then don't worry. So you
sorry.
get your full 15 minutes.
Uh-oh, okay. I'm going to sit back then.
Yeah.
Excuse
And
me.
we'll see if there's any staff comments too. So, okay, so this was, motion was continued to April 8th, 2026 with the following comments. 1, the commission is extremely pleased with the report and thanks everyone involved for the hard work. Additionally, the commission thanks their retired architecture historian Nicole Hernandez for her work in securing the grant for the project and coordinating of outreach. 2, the commission thinks the level of outreach performed and community input received is excellent, and the report gives us a great framework to continue with this neighborhood and the discussion of it. 3, the commission appreciates the thoroughness of the report. 4, the commission acknowledges that although comprehensive historical reports have evolved, referencing the restrictive housing covenants is important to have an honest and persuasive history. 5, the commission is pleased to see contractors' builders included in the report. 6, the commission encourages the public to discuss this report with neighbors and to contact the HLC secretary through March 23rd, 2026 with any questions and further public comment. The motion was by Dordan, second by Uli, 800, the motion carried. All right, so now, do we have any notes from staff before we dive in?
No announcements from staff.
Okay, all right, so take it away.
All right, deja vu. Okay, I am here to talk today about the San Roque project. We're going to walk through some of the reviewing project goals and objectives, reviewing the survey findings, following up on the public comment that we received during the review period since the last meeting, any new public comment, and then requesting acceptance today by the commission on the final report. So for the project goals, ultimate goal to protect historic resources in San Roque and to streamline the permit approval process and application process. Now that we have all this information compiled for San Roque, when future project plans are brought forward, navigating the permit approval process will be much more efficient and cost-effective for property owners. One of the things that we wanted to bring up is what this project does not do, and it does not result in code enforcement or violation letters. It
Yeah.
does not create a historic district, does not designate individual properties, and does not preclude owners from developing an accessory dwelling unit on their properties. So from a timeline overview, we began this project back on March 13th, 2025 at the Peabody School. Throughout the spring and summer of 2025, my team completed survey and research efforts to develop the draft context statement and historic survey report. Then from September to November of 2025, we entered the review period in which city staff, members of the commission, as well as the State Office of Historic Preservation provided feedback and comments on the documents. And then we incorporated all document comments and feedback in the public draft that was released on February the 6th and presented at the meeting at the last HLC meeting. We had a comment period that was open until March 23rd, and then all of the comments that we have received have been reviewed and will be addressed as appropriate. That brings us to today's meeting, and as I mentioned, we are seeking final approval on the historic context statement and historic resources survey report today. Walking everybody through some of the survey results that were presented at the meeting on March the 11th. We had 279 extant buildings that received reconnaissance level survey in the neighborhood. 122 properties received intensive level survey. 62 properties identified as eligible. 182 identified as not eligible. 26 identified as not visible. Architectural styles in the neighborhood were identified as Spanish Colonial Revival, Craftsman, Tudor Revival, English Vernacular, American Colonial Revival, Minimal Traditional, and Ranch. Here's some examples of eligible properties within the neighborhood, not eligible properties within the neighborhood, and not visible properties within the neighborhood. Jumping now to public comment, we received various public comments and questions. Generally, the comments and questions were focused on what does it mean to be eligible and not eligible, and what are the next steps for those properties. So we're going to elaborate on that in the next couple of slides. We also received a few elements of feedback about minor factual and grammatical changes that we're going to be making to the document. So for eligible properties, what does that mean for property owners? Being identified as eligible means that they are eligible for architectural merit or association with significant people, and it means that they're eligible for future designation as city structures of merit. And once they're designated, they would be eligible for the city's Mills Act program. And that is voluntary. They would coordinate with the city's architectural historian, who was just introduced, and then they would be able to enter into those programs voluntarily. So if you have an eligible property, what does that mean if you want to make changes to it? So properties that are identified as eligible, any exterior changes would require review by this commission, Historic Landmarks Commission, to ensure that they comply with the Secretary of the Interior standards. The city's architectural historian or a qualified consultant, depending on the project, would assess project impacts in a Phase 2 historic resources report. So it's very important for property owners, if you have an eligible property as a result of this project, to consult with the city's architectural historian before getting a consultant, before starting your work, so that you understand exactly where you stand on your Phase 2 report, because you don't want to pay somebody to do a report if the city historian is going to help you with your report. Very important fact. So if you have any questions, if you want to do any type of changes to your home, you can check out the guidelines so that you understand more about that. Those are available online. You can also speak with Ashley. She will be more than willing to help on any of those. So if your property is found not eligible, it means that it's not eligible for designation as a city structure merit, and it's not eligible for the Mills Act Property Tax Incentive Program. Exterior alterations would go before the Single Family Design Board, not the Historic Landmarks Commission. So if you want to start a project on your home for exterior alterations, good to coordinate with a planning staff at the counter as soon as you get your plans in order or you know what you're going to do. So that contact information is there. You can go to the counter during hours and discuss that with any of the planning staff. For properties that were not visible, it means that they could not be surveyed or evaluated. Future projects with exterior alterations may require an evaluation if they're over 50 years old. So if you're over 50 years old within San Roque, you need to contact the city's architectural historian to determine the path forward. So it's likely going to be a Phase 1 historic resources report, but that's not always the case. So it's very important to make that connection as early as possible to understand what requirements there will be for your property. So once everything is finalized, approved, all that good stuff, all of the information will be incorporated into the city's historic treasures map, which I am showing here on the screen. This is accessible online to anyone. You can just click on the link. It will take you to the box that you're seeing.
Oh.
Ruh-roh.
It'll take us to this.
It will take us to doomsday. I didn't do it.
There we go.
First I speak out of turn and then I ruin it all. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Full of tricks today, folks. Okay. So click on that website. Don't touch anything else. And when you get to the website, there's a search box that we have highlighted with the red box. You can type in your number. I learned this the hard way. Just type in the number, don't type in the whole address. When you type in the number, the drop-down menu will pull up the list of addresses, all that have that number. Click on the address, hit the search class. It will take you to the property. So the property shows up in blue, like you're seeing the ones on here. Once it shows up in blue, you can click on it. Then when you click on it, it takes you, this little window is going to pop up on the right side of that map. And then there's a table about halfway down, says view, and that takes you to the stuff that you're seeing on the far right of this slide, which is photographs, reports. Sometimes there's fun stuff in there like newspaper articles. Kind of depends, but there's usually a photographs and a significance report if it's up there. So this is where all the information will get incorporated, but it may take a little time. So in the meantime, you can connect with the city architectural historian to obtain any information on any property found eligible through the survey. So, final steps today, I respectfully request that the Historic Landmarks Commission approve the final San Roque Historic Context Statement and Historic Resources Survey Report, which includes all survey findings. Following this approval, all eligible properties will be added to the local register of historical resources and to the city's historic treasures map. Letters will also be mailed to all property owners with final survey results. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time.
Great, thank you. With 5 minutes to spare.
Woo!
All right, so with that, we will open public comment for this item.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. At this time, I don't have any speaker slips for in-person public comment for this item, though if anyone in the room would like to speak, you can approach the podium at this time.
I just have a question, and I emailed our.
Oh, let's see, one sec, the mic, there we go. Oh, and actually, could you just state your name for the record?
It's Mimi Greenberg.
Okay, great.
And I emailed an in Hernandez. I'm not sure who that is, but it was on the site to email with questions. If you have a house that was built in 1930 in the area you're, with no alterations since 1930, and totally visible from the street but not eligible, would that be because of style or, I mean? It is possible. You don't.
Oh, yeah.
It's most likely because of the style. It might not have been a great representation of a style. It may not have anything notable about it. Some of the houses were, they were kit houses, or they just weren't great representations that could have gotten them kicked out early on. So that is possibly why.
And to appeal that would be what?
So I think
process?
it'll be, now that we have an architecture historian, I think it'll probably be offline, reaching out and then having more conversation of more in-depth, and there might be some information that you have that helps that case.
And one of the neighbors mentioned they thought this was somewhat about ADUs in the neighborhood, but this has nothing to do with that, any future ADUs or no?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right. Looks like we have another gentleman. And if you wouldn't mind filling out a speaker slip and then handing it in. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Pardon my interruption. Just to remind the audience, if you'd like to speak, make sure to fill out a speaker slip and then pass it to the secretary, and then you can fill out a speaker slip after, but please state your name for the record before you begin speaking, and you have 2 minutes to speak.
My name's Rodney Yard. I live at 222 Calle Manzanita. How do we find out whether or not our properties are eligible? Is there we can just go online somewhere and click and find out? Is that what I heard? Yes?
Yes. But is that up? Is that treasure map up and running? Okay.
So
yes.
that's up. So just a simple search and we'll know if we're eligible or not. And if it turns out my property is eligible, is it automatically added to the historic register? Because the way I understood it, you have to participate in that and want it to happen. And you can say, no, you don't want it to happen. So no, you're automatically just it. And now we'd be under the auspices of the Historic Landmark Commission if I was eligible. Is that correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
So yes, but one more note on it is any of the or all of the ones found in the report to be eligible, that would also happen. It would just be when you went to go get a permit. So, for example, the ones that are behind hedges that we don't know what they look like right now, they are still the question marks. So when the property owner goes to get a permit, then they might get surprised by the fact that they are eligible. So this is basically removing all surprises to being on the list. So all those properties would end up coming to us anyways if they were eligible. Right now, it's just that a lot of property owners don't even know that they are.
Right.
But if there's any potential, they'll automatically come to Historic Landmarks Commission.
So I guess I'm still a little confused. So the eligibility, if my property's found eligible, is it automatically then part of the historic register and you have to go through you guys to get any changes? True? Yeah, that is true. Okay, I know I asked it a couple times. Hey, Cass. Hey, Ed. Good to see you all. Thanks. Thanks
All
a
right.
lot.
Great.
That's correct. Through you, Chair Grumbine, that is correct. And I just want to clarify that all the properties that were surveyed that are included in this report have not been posted to our historic treasures map. That's going to take time. First of all, the HLC has to accept these changes in the report, and then staff will be processing those, adding those to. That will take some time. So if you have questions and you're not sure, after this hearing, I'm happy to connect with you. I've got the full list. But then you're also, if you're unable to stay, you can contact our architectural historian or staff, and we can let you know what the results say.
Okay, so the basic summary is just reach out to staff and for your property in particular, and you'll get the early scoop as opposed to waiting for it to be.
Right, and this has all been published. It's currently online right now. So
Okay.
it's on our webpage, and it has been up since February 6th and was available to the public since then and at the last HLC meeting. So I can connect with individuals afterwards.
Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks for that clarification. Okay.
Okay, so I don't have any more speaker slips, but I do see someone filling one out. Are you wishing to speak as well? Shh, come on out. You can just state your name and I'll walk.
Hi, my name's Mary Linthicum, and I own 3219 Calle Rosales, which was established as an eligible property. And my question is, if we're automatically added to historic structure of merit or whatever list it's on, does that only address no changes to the facade of the house as it is visible from the street?
So the way it works is the lowest level, which is the resource list that you get added to. But all levels come before Historic Landmarks Commission as a review body when you go to make exterior changes to your house.
Okay.
And then you have to rise to a structure of merit to be able to be qualified for Mills Act. So that's the next level up, basically. But there are our general rules, which we have in our design guidelines, is the more public, front-facing, and original of the historic resource, that is the most important from a public view. And then as you work around the house, we have guidelines for how to do additions or things like that. That might be changes and additions that will be sensitive to the style that you're working with.
Okay.
And so that's the process. Instead of going to single-family design review board, you come here to Historic Landmarks Commission for any design changes to the exterior.
Okay,
So-
great. That answers my
Yeah,
question. Thank
great.
you.
All right. Sure.
And the Mills Act is something that once you're on a structure of merit and you apply for it, it's a reduction in property tax, a major reduction. Is that right? And it lasts for like 10 years or something?
It depends on the major or minorness of it, depends on the amount of work you're doing on the house, and a couple other factors that get factored into it. It can be a major tax reduction. I think in general it is a decent tax reduction, sometimes even really major or even majority. But yeah, but to be able to apply for that, you have to be a structure of merit. So you've got to be a structure of merit first, then you can apply, and then there's a process which they get evaluated once or twice a year, depending. I think once a year is in June, where they get evaluated, and the cost of construction that you're doing on a project on the house itself, as well as your long-term plan over 10 years, basically, all comes together to factor into the tax write-off that you get. So it matters. So if you say you're doing all these, you're going to have a sort of a list of all the things you're going to do to the house. You're going to paint it. You're going to upgrade the electrical. You're going to do this, that, whatever your project list is over 10 years. Then you enter into a contract with the city that then you get a tax reduction based on how much work you're doing on it, and restoring and even just work with it. So that's sort of in a nutshell. That's how the program works. Yeah, it can be. It has the option of being re-upped, but then both parties have to agree, and you have to have a new list of whatever you're going to do.
And just to clarify, the buildings identified as eligible in this program will be added to the local register. They will not automatically be designated as structures of merit. That you would want, if you want to be designated a structure of merit, you'll contact the architectural historian, and then we'll move forward with that process.
That the houses that may not be visible from the street, but fall under this category of being more than 50 years old, or that theoretically would be eligible. If they're not visible from the street, do you change what you agree to allow to let them do based on the fact that no one can see them from the street? Do you know what I'm saying?
It varies, and the street factor is always a big factor, but it does vary. And even properties that are tucked way back, if they're they could be a landmark and be and still we still want them to be treated well with the design changes. So we don't want, in general.
Can't see them.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't just take it off the list just because, or not take it off the list, but it doesn't.
We're just talking exterior.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And a note on that, so the Historic Landmarks Commission only has jurisdiction over the exterior of the house. Mills Act stuff does apply to all the interiors as well, so which is also a good thing.
And if I can further clarify, the historic resource evaluation is triggered by a proposal for an exterior alteration that's publicly visible. So that's why the reason that we did this survey is a proactive approach from the city, so that way we can get all of those historic resources identified up front, so that way you're not surprised by it when you come get a permit, and then you don't have to hire an architectural historian to evaluate your property. If your property is not publicly visible, it would never trigger that historic resource evaluation on its own. However, if you want it to be evaluated, you can pursue that on your own. But if you propose any exterior alteration to your property and it's not publicly visible, it'll never trigger that historic resources evaluation. So the city wouldn't, on its own, evaluate your property if it's not publicly visible, but you can pursue that evaluation if you'd like.
All right. Yeah. Crash course in Mills Act and historic resources.
And may I add, Mr. Chair, may I add just a couple of things? So, hi, Ellen Kokenda, I'm the city planner, and I just want to clarify that whether you are on the if you're determined through this report to be eligible, you're added to our local register. Whether you're on the local register or if you wish to be designated as a structure of merit, which is also approved by the Historic Landmarks Commission, it's the same process. If you do any exterior alteration, you're still coming to HLC. There is no difference in process for designated structures of merit and eligible, or those listed on the register. So that's all the same. I just want to be very upfront about that. And the Mills Act, like a lot of people pursue designation as a structure of merit in order to pursue the Mills Act incentive program. So it's a really great program. There's still money available. The city takes a cut because the idea is that these historic resources are, a community benefit. You might be a property owner, own it, but the rest of us as community members get to enjoy it just by walking down the street and having it visible. And the idea is that you're upkeeping, you're restoring, you're rehabilitating, you're maintaining a historic resource so that all the community can enjoy it and benefit from that. So I would invite everybody who has an eligible resource through this report to talk to us, to contact staff. We have our new architectural historian. We'd love to chat with you to walk through what's the program, what's the criteria, what's the application process, because there's still time to be considered for this upcoming year. We're still taking applications, and they have to be finalized through June 30th. So there's still plenty of time with this result to get designated as a structure of merit, as well as pursue the Mills Act application. So just a clarifying point.
Yep. Okay, any other public comment?
At this time, I don't have any more speaker slips, so I will move to virtual participation where we don't have anyone online with us. But I will acknowledge that we received written correspondence from Mary Louise Days and Stephen Dana, and give it back to you.
All right, thank you. All right, so back to the commission now. Closed public comment, back to the commission for any questions about the report. And Commissioner Jordan?
I just have a technical question about the letter we received from Mary Louise Days, which I think is dated March the 23rd, and I just want to make sure that her comments arrived in time to be incorporated into the final. She was picking out some just copy editing kinds of things. Okay, that's fine. That's my comment.
Yes, all those comments will be incorporated for sure.
Okay. Any other questions? Commissioner Ensberg?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chair Grumbine. And thank you for this great work in the report. I have a couple of questions. One, and some of these are just questions and clarification, hopefully to maybe bring out and help the public to understand better. I wonder if if a project is, if we adopt this today, and there's a project that is considered to be eligible, does that mean that is the report about that project created by our city historian? And do they have to then, can they then avoid or not have to do a phase one report?
So our evaluation is essentially a replacement of the phase one report. So the phase one has already been completed. So they would be going directly into a phase two if they've been found eligible or not eligible through this process.
Okay.
So if I may add to that, this is a massive benefit
Yes.
from the homeowner's perspective, because a lot of people have their plans in mind or want to do something, and the way that it works now is reactive. Someone comes in, submits plans, and then we evaluate it and then have to say, oh, is this going to go to HLC? Is this going to trigger single family design board? Which path is it going to take? But with the work that Sarah's team did and that is presented through this report, all of that research has been done, and people have these really beautiful reports with all the information provided that her team was able to pull from different resources, and that's available now. So it really gives the context of what's historic about the eligible properties, and then conversely why certain things are not eligible, and kind of, so we have that information for people to use so that should they wish to pursue some type of development, that they'll be able to work with our architectural historian sooner, faster, and have that information. So it really speeds up the process for that.
Thank you. I think that's really important to kind of drill down on and have people understand how helpful that is up front. Which,
And actually, sorry, just one more additional note on that. So normally it would be thousands of dollars to have a historian write a report, and you'd have to wait. And like if you wanted to do a project on your house, you'd now have to go and find out, take a couple months to get a historian to research to make sure that you're understanding all of the things it is. So it saves you months of time at least and thousands of dollars to the homeowners. So it's a great
Right.
benefit. So
Right.
just adding to what you're saying.
Is that, so another question on that. So say it was deemed not to be eligible, or then would the owner then have the option to then hire someone separately and do a phase one report, and that person may or may not agree with the report that was done by the city historian?
Yes, they can absolutely prepare a separate report. We do that all the time against this is not a citywide survey, but the type of a large-scale survey, because they are cursory surveys on a lot of levels that you knock out properties pretty quickly during the reconnaissance level survey. So when a historian goes in to actually do direct research on an individual property, they find things that you do not find in a reconnaissance level survey. So sometimes that can yield information that was not known during a large-scale survey. So there's definitely potential that there are properties out there that could be found eligible that we just had to kick out didn't meet our bar for architecture, because that's largely what we look for in a large-scale survey like this is architecture.
And we have had a few projects like that where we had, very few times that I can recall, where the city historian and the owner's consultant differed. But anyway, okay, so, and then I don't want to take too much time, but I did want to ask another question. So on the, so say you have a house that is considered eligible, and how do you, but they're not doing anything. They're not proposing anything. How does the city monitor, or can they, whether work is done on the house that may not be in accordance with the work? So it would be like, I guess it might be considered a violation maybe, but I don't know.
So Commissioner Ensberg, so that is something, I will acknowledge that our city is complaint-based in the way that we do enforcement or code compliance. It should be the assumption for any property owners that if you are doing work to your residence, replacing the windows, getting, adding new doors, any kind of exterior alterations such as that, it does require, not only does it require HLC approval if it's an eligible resource and on the register, but requires a building permit. So for individuals who don't get HLC approval or a building permit for that work, should they be turned in, or should there be a complaint issued, then the city would respond to that particular complaint. We don't go actively searching the streets unless it's super, apparent that someone's doing a lot of, it tends to happen when there's like really obvious work that, wait a minute, does this one have building permits, or what's going on here? And but it, we acknowledge it happens, but it's really for everyone else to know that make sure you get your building permits and make sure you get your planning approvals.
And I guess to sort of reinforce the positive side is that by doing, having your property be designated, now you can qualify for the Mills Act, and then you can, you can get that benefit, and plus you're being a benefit to the community in the way that, Ms. Kokinda, you were saying about and that was one other thing I just wanted to clarify, that the Mills Act, and tell me if I'm wrong, the Mills Act means that the city is, when you say they're taking a cut, they are not getting as much taxes as they would otherwise. So the city is allowing this and taking less than they would otherwise because of the benefit to the community that we all see this being. Is that right?
That's correct, and it's not just the city that's taking. I think there's a threshold up to a certain amount that the city is willing to lose as a result of the Mills Act program, but the county's actually taking, the Santa Barbara County's actually taking a larger chunk of that loss, the reduction. You mentioned one other thing prior that I would
go ahead.
really appreciate to comment on, and I know Ms. Quarter mentioned this during the presentation, but in all of South Environmental's research, they probably could find if there was work done, without permits, but we don't know, like city staff, we don't know that, and it's not that we're not creating any new enforcement as a result of this project. So so people, if they're not proposing any work, we're not following up on anything beyond that. This is really just, it kind of stops here with this report and determining eligibility.
Thank you. Thank you, that's all.
All right, great. Any other questions? Otherwise, Commissioner Jordan, do you want to kick us off on comments, and then we'll look for a motion?
When we saw this draft earlier, I made a lot of comments. I'm very supportive of the draft. I think it's an excellent report, so I'm not going to repeat what I said earlier about that. I will say, in response to some of the discussion here today, that one of the criteria for designation, for recognition, is association with people or events of significance. And that's not always visible if you're, or even apparent if you're doing a title search. So that's where additional research can often uncover evidence that justifies inclusion. But it's not stuff, the individual or event is not stuff that's immediately visible or apparent on a title search. That's my comment.
Yeah, that's a good point. Which is, because something can be even a landmark that doesn't even exist, in anymore. It's just a spot that something super important happened. But you might not know that until more information comes forward. So, yeah.
It's a strong report, and I will support it.
All right. Thank you. All right. Any other comments? And before we look for a motion to to accept the report?
Yes, I would like to make a couple comments. I just, again, want to really appreciate and acknowledge all the work for this. I think it's just so important, and I'm glad that we could have this discussion to kind of help everybody understand how it really, it's an honor, to have some of these properties are so, powerful and important, and beneficial to the community as a whole, not only to the people who live in these properties, but to the entire community. So I just want to say I really appreciate, and I think I really also appreciate the community input, how well you took in input and incorporated it into the report, and just the people here today talking about it, and again, having this discussion to help people fully understand why it's a benefit, not any kind of punitive anything. It's just a real honor to be able to have a property like this. So thank you.
All right. So if there's not any other comments, I'll look for a motion for the acceptance of the report.
I move that we accept the San Roque Historic Context and Resource Survey report.
As submitted with additional inclusion of the comments discussed. Yeah.
Yes.
Second.
All right. Commissioner Lodge, thank you for the second. Under discussion, any further discussion? All right. Roll call vote, please.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Jordan.
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes.
Commissioner McClure,
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your great work. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for all your participation. All right. We are on to item 2. This is a new item for concept review. This is 128 West Mitchell-Torrena Street. It's listed on the local register of historic places. Only a sandstone retaining wall constructed in 1870 to 1940 along West Mitchell-Torrena Street qualifies as an important historic resource. Proposal to demolish the non-historic building on site and construct a new 1,800 square foot, 2-story, single-unit residence with a roof tower and roof deck. Project includes a new 250 square foot garage, trash enclosure, hardscape, landscape, trellis, and wood fence. A new 509 square foot attached accessory dwelling unit is proposed under a separate permit. A minor zoning exception is requested to allow the fence trellis to exceed 8 feet in the interior setback. No final appealable action will take place at this meeting. Project compatibility findings, minor zoning exception findings, and mechanical equipment waiver findings will be required for project design approval. And there is historic resources report. All right, so welcome. If you would introduce yourselves, and then if we have any comments from staff, and then you all have 15 minutes to present.
I'm Alex.
Oh, yeah.
And pardon my interruption. Before I have the applicant team introduce themselves, I'm going to have Commissioner
yes.
McClure, who
Sorry.
is going to be acting as
Hey.
Commissioner McClure is no longer here.
The State Fair Political Practices Act Regulation 5 states that an official may appear before a design or architectural review committee of which he or she is a member to present, explain architectural engineering drawings which the official has prepared for a client. Charles McClure is a sole practitioner and is using this exception, understanding certain limits regarding advocating on behalf of their client.
All right, thank you. All right, so now with that, would you introduce yourselves?
I'm Alex Boucher, the architect for the project.
My name is J.L. Kominski, and I'm property owner, and I'm also the IT guy for today.
Great.
And Charles McClure,
Yeah.
landscape.
All right, so is there any comments from staff?
Yes, thank you, Chair Grumbine. So staff has a few comments. As currently designed, the project triggers an open yard modification and reconstruction of non-conforming structures, modification for the garage, 2 minor zoning exceptions, and a mechanical equipment waiver. The applicant has not officially applied for the modifications yet, but would like you to comment on the aesthetic appropriateness of the modifications. And should they choose to move forward with those modifications, they would like to use those comments to go to the staff hearing officer. However, if they decide to redesign and need new comments, they will come back for a second concept review before it goes to the staff hearing officer for the modifications. And with that, I'll turn it over to the applicant.
Great. And so then I would just say on, in your presentation, which I'm sure you are planning on doing this, but just to make sure to make note on the answering each of those modifications, like what your argumentation is, what details about it, so that we can have findings or have make comment on it. So
Great.
okay.
I have a PowerPoint presentation first. Keep going. Yes, so this is the summary of the project: the demolition of the non-historic structures, a new 2-story residence with a tower, a roof deck, and an ADU. Will retain the historic sandstone wall with a minor alteration for the driveway widening. And the open yard modification, which I talked about, has to do with a private yard for the main residence. And there are other minor zoning exceptions. We will provide a roof deck for additional outdoor living space for the main residence. The historic findings, the wall is historic. We saw it in the last meeting here, and the house and the garage are not. This is the section on the upper left, right. Is a portion of that section will be has to be reduced in order to allow for a regular driveway width. Let's go on. I think you know this site pretty well. It's on Micheltorena between Chapala and De La Vina. Is the one with the red dot, and I think it's pretty common. And the context here is pretty obvious. We're in a mixed-use development with area with single-family, multi-family residential and commercial, and so they are. Well, let's go to the next slide. Yeah, these are the most recognizable features. And on the top is the house on the left of the subject property. On the top right are the ones on the right, and in the bottom are the ones across the street. This is the Denica house in the corner, and the other corner has the Allenmar building. And across the street we have the barn and the and De La Vina and Micheltorena is the famous pink house, which actually happens to be 4 stories. I mean, there's a basement level, there's an attic level, and 2. It's a very interesting building, by the way. And these are the 2 street landscapes looking towards east, well, I think it's towards the mountains, and the other one, the one below, the next one is the one looking west. And then we move on to the drawings, which really shows, if you can enlarge the, how do we?
You have that 1 second.
Yeah, I think it's on.
Full screen, right there we go.
There we go. Can we, yes, so the, oops,
Sorry.
there we go. Is there a zoom to get into?
I think there's a little hourglass.
Yeah, you can, it's a touchscreen.
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's a new laptop and it's no longer a touch screen.
Ah.
Sorry. And it has not improved our
Oh, there we
technological
go.
situation.
That's why
We're slowly going down.
That's why I bring a professional here. Yes. If JL cannot do this, then, you know.
Control and zoom in. Okay. Let's scroll up and down. Okay.
So this is the concept. In yellow is the existing. And in black, in the solid black, is the proposed. The garage gets a little bit longer because I guess cars are longer. You know, this was made for the Ford T, was actually at that time. And yes, so we do have an ADU in the back, and it's a two-story structure with a roof deck. In the back of the first floor is the ADU, which I'm not supposed to talk about it, but on the front is the entrance to the main dwelling. And keep going. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so this is the neighborhood that we saw. Maybe a picture, an elevation of what that side of the street looks like. 128 is the one we're working on. And keep going down in the bottom part. I think this one on the corner, as if you can blow, yeah. This is the more, here the darker structures are the ones that are 2 stories or more or higher, and the other ones are the single-story buildings. Okay, and then we go to the, this is the existing residence. I just wanted to say that the only reason we're removing this residence is because it's unfeasible to fix it. And I wanted to say last time we have all sorts of documents to prove it, but we were not able to, I guess, share them. But otherwise, we will keep it. You know, it's just like it's falling apart. But and it looks, and I have a drawing there at the bottom, right? And it looks there. It looks nice, but it's not exactly like that. I mean, it looks like it's just built, but it's just falling. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so this is the site plan. Yeah, so that's the new garage in the corner, and replacing the old garage. The ADU in the back, space in the back for open space for the ADU, and the main residence in the front. Let's go on to the floor plan. Mm-hmm. So this is the ADU in the back. The entrance is a stair tower that takes you upstairs. The master bedroom and a little office space is in the bottom floor. We're not going to talk about the ADU, so we're going to the second floor, and you arrive to which is basically the main space for the main residence, with a balcony open to the street, like eyes on the street, you know, facing the street, and a couple of bedrooms in the back. And then we go to the roof deck, which is right there with a tower, and a cover space, and maybe the sections will show it a little bit better. Yeah, these are the sections, the 3 sections of the property. We paid a lot of attention to neighborhood, mainly neighbors' privacy, to the point that, considering that we do have a roof deck, we just wanted to make sure that we were not imposing into any of the neighbors. And the way that that's given by the solid railing, by the angle, and another new feature that we have now is some planter boxes with some backing that will increase basically the possibility of looking down, because we have no interest in looking down. The sites are to the mountains and looking up. You know. That's the deck facing the street. and we have this trellis that Chuck will talk about, wrapping the steel trellises for planting. It's a tight site. We need to use landscape in any possible way. The other things that we have done is like on the east elevation, you see that the windows are high. The one in the middle, the one that, yeah. The first one doesn't really look into the neighbors. It looks ahead towards the street. But the one in the middle, that one, there are two are higher up. The one in the center has some, we will do something to so the glass will not be transparent at the bottom. And
Yes.
yeah.
If I may. Yeah, so with the windows being higher, your natural eyesight from inside is just facing up towards the mountains and not down towards the neighbors. So that was our intent with the windows being a little bit higher there. And then, as Alex was pointing out, the front of our neighbor's house is approximately around here, so this is not sort of looking straight into their property. Just to add as well, the other thing that we Alex mentioned, we've got ideas of planters with a trellis backing to put along this side of the rooftop. So when standing along the rooftop, again, your eyesight is naturally facing upwards towards the mountains and not downwards towards towards any neighbor's properties. And then just for the properties to the left of our house, there is a driveway. There's two, like a driveway ramp, I guess, and then there's two parking spots. So there's quite a bit of a distance between our property and the neighbors.
Also on the west, on the north property line, right there. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's that's when we asked for a minor. See, we have this fence with a wire to grow some vines, grapevines maybe, and that is exceeding the 8 feet, so we need a minor exception for that.
Yeah, so to add to that point as well,
There
this
it
is
is, yeah.
the side shot of the fence. And this is to further create privacy with the neighbors. I would like to mention, sorry, do I need to press the button? Oh, it's on. I would like to mention that we did contact all of our surrounding neighbors and we showed them these designs, and we got positive feedback from all, and there were no real major concerns or issues. And if there were any, it was around privacy, and we've taken steps to address those.
Okay, the next we have the.
Whoops.
Yeah, here we have the before and after of the existing residence and the proposed residence right there. And have some details, maybe the more salient details, maybe if you show the
Sure.
here. Putting some tile on the sills, just a little bit of lipstick there, and a steel trellis to add in the corner, also in the garage as well. This, keep going. This is an example of that. I did a building like this on the east side. And they would be a little bit bigger than that, a little bit longer, but same idea.
Yeah. One thing to note from this rendering is that it's not a carport anymore, it's a garage, mostly covering the same footprint as the existing garage. However, as Alex mentioned, cars are bigger, so it's a bit more forward.
And then we go to the landscape.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
It's like Alex was saying, it's very tight, but we're getting vertical elements where we can in the form of palm trees to kind of compete with the tower a little bit. And my visibility triangles are very dark in this print, but there's some historic rosemary on the left side, and we're going to match that on the right side. And there are Vitis californicas, California grape, and so we're going to grow that on the right property line, as Alex mentioned. And there's a little bit of outdoor space for kids. That's all.
Do we need to mention anything about the permeable pavers, or
No,
I guess not? No.
I think that's. Oh, well, I need to mention something about the modification.
Yeah.
Which is really a strange animal. Let's go to the floor plan, maybe. Yeah.
Sure.
It really caught us by surprise because, maybe this one here. Well, yeah.
This one is the
Okay.
top story, right?
Right. So what happens is that go to this one right here.
Okay.
Yeah. So the backyard, this is the backyard for the ADU. Now, so the required backyard open yard for the residence of this size is 800 square feet. But for the ADU, it's only 500. Now, this is perfectly fine, except that they measure it. They measure the second floor. It looks like the second floor is protruding into it. You know, if we can, let's go to this one right here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in order to comply, we have to kind of cut off, you know, basically that little piece right there, which I'm not sure what it does in terms of open yard. It does not help us at all. What we have is a beautiful roof terrace that does that.
Yeah, the intention was to create livable outdoor space with a rooftop deck. So even though, like, if this second floor was pushed back a bit more, it would provide no value to that outdoor space. However, our intention with the rooftop deck is to provide that additional livable outdoor space.
And that's that. That's the end of the presentation, right? Yeah.
Okay. And so I just want to make sure that we covered all the various minor zoning exception.
There are a couple. Yeah, one is the height of the trellis on the facing the driveway next door.
Yeah.
The other one is there was a modification, at least in the first list. I mean, for the garage, but we had to reduce it by 2 feet. I did shrink it. I eliminated that one.
So that's a modification for the garage?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Just make the garage a bit smaller.
Oh, got it.
No, I'd rather shrink it. Then we have the modification, and then also the mechanical equipment, and where apparently the rules are changing, and we will not need it. Apparently, we will not need it anymore. It's not clear. It has to do with mechanical equipment being on the side, on that side right there.
Okay, and so for that, what is the they're going to need to. Well, we're going to need to make mechanical equipment waiver findings. Is that right?
So as currently designed, it triggers a mechanical equipment waiver for the distance, because under current regulations, the units would have to be at least 5 feet from the interior property line. However, there are proposed Title 30 code updates that may allow ground-mounted mechanical equipment to be closer to an interior property line. So depending on when the property comes to you for approval, if the code changes have gone through, it won't trigger the mechanical equipment waiver. If it does, you will have to make the mechanical equipment waiver findings. And then just to clarify, I believe the applicant is only asking for comments on the aesthetic appropriateness of the open yard modification, because they're going to be redesigning the garage to not trigger a modification for the reconstruction of non-conforming structures.
We're reducing the width by 2 inches. And then
Yeah. So easy mod to avoid. So yeah, you'll just be commenting on the open yard modifications.
Okay, great. I think we got that. Okay, so if that completes your presentation, we'll now go to public comment.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. At this time, I do have one speaker slip for in-person public comment. We have Douglas, and I can't quite make out your last name. Is it Beard? Perfect. Douglas Beard. You'll have 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm a neighbor, 112 West Mitchell-Torina Street. I want to commend you on at least keeping the stone wall up front there. That is a very important aspect of the neighborhood, and it just is really cohesive to the neighborhood. So thank you for that. And I do agree they have been in communication with the neighbors, and that is very much appreciated as well. Modification for the fence height is very acceptable, and I think it's a great idea for adjacent neighbors. The only thing I would comment on specifically would be the bulk and scale of the tower. It just looks a little overwhelming to me to be a 3-story structure right there at the driveway, and it feels like maybe if they textured it differently or something of that nature. And also the necessity, and I understand it's a very difficult site, very tight constraints, but for the outdoor living area, it's a very, very dense neighborhood. The roof deck could potentially interrupt privacy for other neighbors and/or disruptive noise, depending on what happens up there on the deck. It's just a concern I have. Whether or not the tower needs to be that tall and the same diameter, basically all the way up. That'd be my only concern, and it's just a simple comment. I am an architect myself, and I just want to make that comment and feel that it might be reviewed a little bit closer, and maybe you would have comments on it as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, I don't have any more speaker slips for in-person public comment. We don't have anyone online with us, and we didn't receive any written correspondence for this item, so I'll give it back to you.
All right. So to the commission for questions. Any questions? Commissioner Ensberg.
Yes, thank you, Chair Grumbine. I have one question about the garage. When we're looking at the model here, the 3D, right there, yeah. So,
Yeah, that's the carport.
oh,
We
so
had a
that's
carport
not
before.
it?
It's not the garage anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, does it match the house? Is it going to, can you show us then go back? Because I was looking at that and thinking it didn't look like the house.
It's right, yeah.
Okay. So is your intention to have it be white stucco
Yeah.
to match the house and the detailing the same? It just didn't show up in that render.
Yeah, there it is, yeah, here we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
There it is.
White stucco, same as the house.
Yeah, it's just like that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The rendering just didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Other questions?
Mr. Chair, I have a
Commissioner
question. Could we see the site plan? I have a question about the driveway and the width of the driveway.
This picture in particular?
No, the site plan.
Site plan.
Sorry.
I think it's marked on the site plan as something like 6 feet wide.
Yeah, but it's shared. It's 11 feet total now. It's a shared driveway between the two.
Okay. So the actual width,
That one there.
This one. Got it. Sorry.
There it is.
a car wider than 72 inches could drive down that driveway.
Right now, we have, it's about it's less than 8.5 or so, which is tricky because it's not just the curb, it's a wall on each side. So we scratch a few cars. In there.
You have to take extra caution when backing out
So
and you're
on this
reversing
plan,
out.
the dimension marked as 6 feet is simply the 6 feet on your property, but it's a shared
Well, yeah,
driveway, so
that
it's
is
wider.
that 6 feet is the setback. Shows the setback. On the bottom it says 11 feet. See the driveway there? It measures the whole driveway there.
Okay,
Yeah.
that answers my question. The other question I have is about the roof deck and who has access to the roof deck? Meaning, would somebody in the ADU have access to the roof deck?
No, it's the main residence.
It's the
yeah.
main residence.
And we do have also a what do you call it?
And what's the open space in the rear adjacent to the ADU? How big is that backyard?
It's 500 square feet.
500 square feet,
Yeah.
which does satisfy the
ADU requirement. yeah.
ADU requirement. Okay, all right. Okay, those are my questions.
Thank you.
All right. Other questions? Yes, Commissioner Butler.
Just a general question. What architectural style would you describe this house as?
It's a mission style, maybe a mission revival, I would say. At least, kind of. It's a more modern, perhaps a more contemporary version of the mission revival. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I have one other, Commissioner Jordan has made me think of so back to the site plan, could you just go through the open yard part? So the open yard, you're getting a combination of between the roof deck and the front yard, is that what you're doing? Or can you just describe the open yard for the main residence?
The open yard, it would be the roof deck. That would
Okay.
that would be we have a dumb waiter to bring, stuff up there. We're walking from the second floor to the roof deck. It's only one story going up. It's not that far away. And it has a beautiful view of the mountains.
And then going,
To add to the question about the tower, so so does the tower break the height limits?
No.
What are your height limits here?
I think it's 45 or something like that.
Yeah.
We're in an R3,
That's
R4.
what,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I assumed. And then is there an easy way or a way of reducing the height per the public comment? Is there much wiggle room there or not?
Yeah, I'm trying. One second. Oops.
Well, I think we're at 7 feet there on the, we have a door at 6'8", and 7 feet is not,
Not a lot of wiggle room there.
not much really.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner.
yeah, one other, so and I'm sure it's on there, I just, without my magnifying glass. The roof deck wall around the roof deck is what height?
At least 42. It may go to 48, it depends.
Can you zoom in there? I think it's 42. Sure.
Yeah, 42
Okay, there it
showing,
is, yeah. And and that is 800 square feet, the roof deck?
Not sure. I don't remember. No, but the rules for decks are different in them. I mean,
But if it's your open yard, I mean.
Right. But
You're asking for a modification for that.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's 800 square feet or not. It doesn't seem so. That would be a huge.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not saying it should be, I'm just asking, because.
The open yard modification is for what? Is it for the not having that full 800 square feet? Is that what is?
Well, to comply, we would have to remove 9 feet of the second floor. I'm not sure who that benefits.
So-
9 feet of the second floor.
So how does that get you to comply with?
Because it's hard to,
To know what exactly
well,
what
it's pretty bizarre. It's
Yeah.
because it says that the 500 square feet is for the ADU. The main house requires 800, and that's measured. So we are not keeping 800 square feet from the property line, I guess, and the main residence. That's why we should reduce it by.
Okay, can I just to try to get clarity on this? So what you're saying is the main house requires 800, the ADU requires 500. That's not 800 plus 500.
No.
It's
right,
one
right,
or
right.
the other, right?
That's
So
correct,
if
yes.
so what you have is 500, and to get 800, you'd have to shave off the back side of the house. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, here it says,
Right?
a standard AD, okay, here it says, the site is 3,700 square feet, and per the municipal code, 800 open yard is required. A standard ADU may reduce the open yard to 500 square feet, but the residence above the ADU cannot encroach into the 800 square foot of open yard. So this is not very well written, but it took some trying to understand. You would need to show the 800 square foot of open yard and the 500 square foot reduced open yard on the site plan, and show how the residence is outside the 800 square foot open yard. After, I I didn't quite understand it. I went to the counter and talked to Ted Hamilton, and he didn't understand it either. But after a while, we figured out that we had to shrink the house by 9 feet, and that would make it comply.
And the front yard doesn't. Can we go to your site plan?
The front yard
does not play into this at all.
Open yards don't go in the front.
Okay, so the front, and then back to the site plan on the first page, where you have the colors. Where's the colors?
T1, yeah.
The one that shows the existing and then, yeah, that. So, so that front yard is just the front yard.
Yeah, no, that doesn't have 800 square
And
feet
you're
either.
not,
Yeah.
you don't have a setback, you know, the new house is proud toward the street from the old, where the old house
Yes,
is.
that's correct.
And you don't have a issue there?
No, we have to the setback. It's just like the one next door, for instance. No, it's,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
So
matching
the existing house doesn't have the 800 square feet either, you know.
Okay, great. That's very clear.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions before we roll into comments? All right, let's roll into comments. So this is for concept review, so no final appealable action will take place. But they'll need all the modification, so open yard modification, ADU open yard, the height of the trellis, and the mechanical equipment, which may or may not end up being a thing. So let's, why don't we talk through those real fast, and then we'll go into talk about the design. So just in general right now, how people are feeling about, let's start with the open yard modification. That we're not quite fully clear what it is, but the question is, is the layout as we're proposing with the deck and as open space, I guess, and the front yard, is that acceptable for some sort of a modification in general for open yard?
That brings into the discussion the roof deck, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I have a comment about that, but I don't know whether you want to wait.
Yeah, let's wait, assuming that all the other things are okay for now until we get into them. How are people feeling about these things? And part of it is the design changes, at least if it does change, at least there's a little bit more thought and direction of which ways they could go, push or pull things if people are not okay with the open yard situation with this right now, as proposed.
Well,
So,
I will jump in and say that I do support it strongly for where this is, for a, an urban environment, and I think the way it's designed is extremely livable, and that you can make very wonderful, outdoor spaces in small areas. And I think even larger would not be as beneficial. I think that it's in proportion, and I would strongly support it as designed.
and even though the driveway is not allowed to be counted as it, I guess, but the kids are going to kick the ball there anyways.
Well, or maybe, yeah, somewhere outside, hopefully.
Okay. Other thoughts on the open yard? Is it everyone in general okay with this modification? Okay. Now let's go to the trellis, the taller trellis, addition to the fence.
The fence trellis.
Fence trellis. Thoughts on the fence trellis? Everyone generally
I'm
okay?
fine with it.
Yeah.
Over 8 feet.
Yeah, because it's over 8 feet, at least the portion to grow the vine, which, yeah,
It's like that one shown.
yeah. Okay.
So is the 8 feet to the top of the mesh, or?
No, it's
Trellis.
12 feet
To the wire.
to the wire.
Yeah, but to the fence portion,
Oh, yeah.
8 feet, and then the additional 4. Okay. Is everyone okay with that?
Wait, just one thing. So can you point to it, so the top of the fence, you should point to it with your
Yeah.
cursor.
This one is a little bit different. This is the one I have in another property.
Actually, let's look at the drawing, because that'll be more clear as exactly what they're proposing.
Yeah, the other one has wire. I mean, this one has a panel.
Posts that go up.
Yeah.
This one here?
Yeah, no, the elevation, the next one, the
next
next
one.
page.
This
page.
one here?
This one right here, yeah, there we go.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
There we go.
there, yeah, there it is, yeah.
So, if only I could see.
Can you zoom into the fence portion? So you're showing 12 from the sloping ground level all the way up to the top.
Yeah, so it would be, yeah.
And it looks like a couple feet.
And then the 8, can you point to where the 8 is?
Is it here, Alex?
Well, I don't know.
I think it's somewhere in
yeah,
between, because your
yeah.
other drawing showed 7 for the slats, and then, so that's probably about 9 for that.
This is 7.
But, yeah, it's probably like 9 and then 12, yeah.
Because this is also to the top of here.
Yeah, posts.
Okay.
Okay, so is everyone good with that? as a
Yes.
Okay, great. And then the mechanical equipment, can we, I guess, does it matter right now that okay, let's just not weigh in on that then. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's true. This will give Ed something to complain about.
Lucky Ed's not here today.
Okay. Okay. All right, so now let's go to the architecture and the design, and let's talk more about that now. So who wants to start with comments?
I'll start with some comments. I'm generally supportive. I recognize the design challenge of building on this site. I have some comments about the roof terrace because it's not, to my knowledge, a common feature in domestic architecture in Santa Barbara. But I think that we will see more projects that have it as we get denser, and part of densification is building up. I'm sensitive to the neighbors' concerns about privacy, but also about noise in terms of how a roof deck is used. What I think that will do is, as we start adding more roof decks, we will see an increase in enforcement issues surrounding that. In other words, that's going to become a community issue. And I'm not sure, short of banning it, that there's any way for us to manage that right now. It's whether we want to accept it or not. And on that point, any review like this, you're really searching for the balance between the kind of general principles and regulations that apply to everybody and the specific circumstances of a site and a program that each project brings. This is a case where I'm willing to support, I'm generally supportive of the roof deck. But what I don't want to do is see the roof deck become a common strategy for compensatory space as we lose open yard space at the ground level. As the city gets denser and more, and people are going to come in and say, well, we got to reduce, we can't have the amount of open yard and ground, so we're going to put it up on the roof. I'm wary of that as a general strategy, but given the particular nature of this site, I'm willing to support it on this site. And the other comment that I have, and this goes back to a previous discussion when we discussed the Historic Sites and Structures report, the stone wall is a character-defining feature of the neighborhood, and that absolutely has to be protected.
All right.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, Commissioner Butler.
So my first question obviously had to do with the architectural style. First of all, when I first saw this, I thought, it's aesthetically appealing. So let's start there. I think it's aesthetically appealing, the approach, et cetera. And I actually live in this neighborhood, so I know what the surrounding is like. My concern is you're trying to do too much. First of all, when you go to a circular or round design, and I'm the non-architect on the crowd, okay, it's very inefficient. You lose space because you don't have corners, and using a tower as a methodology to get up and down floors, et cetera, if you have the space for it, et cetera, I can be fine. In this case, you don't. So I sort of felt that with the front square overhang sort of portion of the front of the building, and then this very dominant tower, from a stylistic standpoint, I don't know that they're really compatible or that they feel integrated. Let's put it that way. I felt the tower really dominates the house. And so that's just a thought. Again, as I look at it aesthetically, oh yeah, that looks, it's appealing, definitely. But I just wondered about the role that you've given the tower and how much the emphasis that shows in the architecture as a stylistic element to it. So I would look at some way to maybe reduce the presence or alter that or some other way to make it look a little more integrated. I also looked on the elevations and I said there was a lot of variation among the window sizes, all of that. And I know this is early, so this is good, this is good stuff to talk about. But you go from 3 triples to doubles to, small vertical. I noticed just a lot of variation among the various windows themselves. So it's just another thought to maybe look at a way to be a little more consistent. I know there are limitations when you're trying to light a bathroom versus a kitchen and all that. So it's just a consideration. But it looked to me, from that standpoint, that there's just a lot of variation going on here among the windows, the roof types, the roof line, et cetera. So I'll stop there.
All right.
Mr. Chair?
Commissioner Lodge.
I concur with Commissioner's comments about the tower. It seems too, the circumference seems too much. It dominates too much. And when you look at the building as a whole, it's to me, it dominates, as has been said. And yeah, it's fat.
Am I?
Nodding. And I think if it could be reduced in volume, I think that would help.
Okay. Commissioner.
Yes. Okay. Well, I want to again thank the team for this work, and I guess I'm going to be a little bit different from my colleagues here, I guess, because I find this to be very, very compelling and very interesting. And what I really like about it is that it is well, Commissioner Butler asked, what style is this? And what I like is that it draws from a lot of different styles. And what I really like that about it, that they've taken something and made it uniquely different. And you can sort of see things from different parts of the city that are in here. But they're put together in a very unique, artistic, and a romantic way. So I really like it. I don't feel, the tower, I was at first like, wow, look at that tower, And then I thought, I just really like it. I like the scale of it. I like the proportions of it. I understand why it's there like that. And I love the porch on the front, how that, is the nod to the front porch and being able to kind of wave at your neighbors as they're going by. I think it's a really, really brilliant solution. And I don't have a lot that I would change about it at all. Can we go back to the 3D rendering? I think that as I'm, kind of staring at this more, just a suggestion that might be that maybe are there corbels under there that are holding this projected piece, the square?
No, that's the steel trellis.
It's actually all.
So that's projecting the trellis. I see. Okay. Okay. I get it. Anyway, I just think it's a really, really great solution for a downtown urban setting, and that it brings in the Spanish style in a really beautiful way, and I think it blends great with the neighborhood. So I'm very supportive of it, and I would not like to see a lot of changes to it, quite frankly.
Mr. Chair, can I make a comment?
Let's finish off, make sure we have, I think that is actually everyone except for me, so go for it.
I think it's important also to remember that the carport's going away, so that becomes another white box, if you
Yes,
will, which
yes.
helps to kind of balance it. And then the iron vine hanger jumps over there too. So
Repeats over there.
This is a little not fair, if you will.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I now that I understand it a little bit better, I was thinking it was projecting out, but no.
So let me say I agree with everyone.
Typical.
Now let me try to say why. Except for only one part of what Alex said, which was, or Mr. Pujol said, which is that it's mission revival. And so I think Spanish revival allows for a lot more flexibility and then there's not really Mission Gable, although I can see some of the forms. But, so I would just, and it also allows for it to actually have a lot more of the eclectic Spanish that you have going on here. So I think it gives you, that label helps a little more. And I'll say why I actually agree with everyone. I really like the design where it is going right now. I think there's a few areas that are hurting the tower and the integration of things, and it's actually where your overhang is right now, where the two-story box piece intersects with the tower. Although down below, keep going down, the first side, right there.
Underneath it, yeah.
So where that intersection happens, if the rectangular box portion of it was a little more whole and came down more in some way, then the tower wouldn't become quite as dominant. And I think it would not, and it's also, I don't necessarily think it's helping you with the way the walls curve in and have multiple curving surfaces there. So it might be just at that intersection that the tower becomes less dominant. And the other thing I think that this is a little bit, it's a good shot to understand the building from, but you're only going to get this at a glimpse when you're going down the street. The majority of the time you're actually going to see it from more straight on, and the tower is going to be way to the back.
Right.
This is like the strongest the tower ever is when you're walking on the street. And then if you were before, it wouldn't be as big or a deal, and then if you're after it, it wouldn't be as big a deal. But I think this particular shot, while it describes the project well, is also the one where the tower is the most visually impactful and dominant. So I think maybe with a little other minor massaging, the tower can just visually have less impact. So, but I also am, and I agree with some of the what I think are more minor comments about the windows. There are a lot of variety. I think that the horizontal windows or the groupings of square windows aren't helping, maybe separating them out with some plaster in between the square windows or things like that. I understand there's reasons for it, but that use of it and also the simplification in terms of the number and types is probably good. And then I'd also say adding muntins would also be very helpful. So anyways, that's going to be. Sure.
A suggestion. I've been thinking about using a gable in the front. I think we'll emphasize more maybe the style and the fact that usually houses have a gable, and that might help also to hide the tower itself.
It might.
I'm not sure what
I like it. I like the way you
but
have it.
yeah, you heard. So I think the other piece, I think that totally aside that needs to be studied as you're going forward here ties to the good neighborliness and privacy. I think you have this in 3D, which is good. I think looking at your, I think it works the way you have it, but I really want to understand it in 3 dimensions. How the views from the deck integrate with your neighbor. And I think you're in a pretty good position because you're above and the roof is, the privacy is there, and then you're not in the backyard space. So I think it'll work, but I think that's also part of what you should show us for next time is what the views are from the deck in terms of a 3-dimension and the neighbors, at least to a certain degree. Because I think you are doing a decent job screening, but that wall also might need to come up to like 48 or something a little taller to create a little bit more of good neighborliness and more privacy.
We're already thinking about that. And we also have these planters. We're thinking of putting a backing in the back of the
On the roof?
On the roof, the planters on the roof to have a backing so they...
Yeah, so I think and obviously it's best for both because you don't want to be staring into someone's yard and they don't want you staring in their yard. So as you ideally can get something to work that does it both directions. Okay, so those are my comments.
Can I say one last
Sure.
comment
Yeah.
that I would be very neglect if I didn't say? Can you go back to the rendering? I see a lot of poetry, and it makes me really happy to see this. And I just can't help but say that, if there was like a colored awning, and if it was like striped on that one side or on the front, it could be very playful and really fun, and I think just think about that idea.
How about some wall tile?
Well, sure, yeah.
Right there on the entry, right next to that.
Or maybe
door,
where
Right.
Grumbine was talking about that
Well,
element there.
right there is where it's planned, because that's where the door is.
But don't
and
forget
maybe
s-
that-
awning,
Yeah.
color.
Okay, well, yeah, well,
I do have one question about
oh, sure, go ahead.
So what is protruding behind the tower? I noticed this earlier, I forgot. So on the upper level, what is, we can't see from this angle? What is the, that is,
Yeah, little pop forward with the Juliet balcony.
so, is that a,
Yeah, it's that, yeah, I think so. It's a clay tile. That upper part is clay tile, wall that's like open, right? Yep.
so,
And then you're seeing, I think, the Juliet balcony down below, right there.
Yeah.
With the corbels that are popping out that have it cantilevered.
and up at the very top, to the left of the tower, that,
That's the
That's
covered
the cover for the
trellis.
roof,
for the,
for the roof deck, yeah.
I thought, okay, thank you. I
And
just
in
was-
plan, it goes out the backside of the tower.
Yeah, exactly.
So you really don't
I-
see it
How to go
much.
up.
Okay, I just,
Yeah, no, that's good. Okay, so let me, so this is for concept only. So I think what we have, so the comments will include the notes about the minor zoning exception findings and that. And then I'll try to summarize what we've said so far. And I said I agree with everyone and made those arguments. Are there any other thoughts on that comment as well? Because we're going to have to try to get to the tower and give comments on it. But are people okay with that idea of sort of some additional refinements of the intersection of the main two-story massing? Yeah, and looking at that as a way of reducing the dominant tower. Okay. All right, let me take a shot at these then. All right, so first, the commission thanks the applicant for their hard work and for their and for the design that they're bringing forward, and for a improvement of the neighborhood. The HLC also is thankful for the applicant's care with the stone wall in particular, and keeping as much as possible and integrating the improvements with it. The general design, the mass bulk scale, general design of it is commendable and is going in the right direction. There with the following additional refinements as you go forward. For the tower element to be less dominant and integrated more into the rectangular massing of the design. And I'll just kind of leave it general so that there's creative wiggle room in whichever way you go. For more color, and especially towards the front, including either tiles and/or awnings or other elements that bring more color to life with the structure. Let's see, the general landscape plan is supportable as currently proposed. Okay, and then we'll maybe go into some of the, actually, we'll cover the windows. For the windows to be less in type and number and shape, as well as non-horizontal, so the separation of the square windows or others, so that they're not horizontal in proportion. Yeah, like that. Like if they pulled those apart and have plaster between, that could still work, but not. What's that? Yeah, like that horizontality of it feels. And then also for the inclusion of muntins as part of it.
Is that like a consideration?
Yeah, they'll say consider for now, and then we'll see if there's, yeah.
But, yeah, so it can be considered.
Yeah,
study.
sure, to consider Muntins as part of that division. Let's see, the roof deck to continue to refine, especially with the privacy of the neighbor in mind, and to study that in 3 dimensions and to show those studies to HLC, come back with those studies to HLC. Yeah, we can just sort of leave it simply like that. We got privacy, color. Okay, so for the modifications, the height of the fence and vine solution is acceptable, is supportable as a what is the exception that we're saying for the modification?
So the fence is triggering a minor zoning exception. and
Minor
then it's
zoning
an
exceptions.
Open yard modification.
Okay, minor zoning exception for the fence is supportable. The open yard modification is also supportable, given the particulars of this lot and the design. Let's weigh in on the garage, because we at least have drawing elevations. So the elevations design of the garage is also supportable and is going in the right direction. And then what else do we want to? Oh, the mechanical, we're just going to avoid for now. And then we'll pretend it doesn't exist. Maybe it'll go away. All right. Anything else that we're missing here on comment? Oh, and Spanish revival as a general type is acceptable for this design.
One other thing, when you say less dominant tower, as you pointed out, Chair, it is less dominant when you're looking at it straight on from the street. So I don't know, I mean, I'm concerned about giving a direction that maybe will cause a lot of work to try to figure out how to do that. I think what you suggested in terms of that connection at the bottom there is a good one. So
that might be it might be as simple as that. Oh, then we should add though that to also bring back imagery, looking at other angles as well, so that we can have a
so we can
better,
see just how truly
And there might
dominant
be other
or
things.
not.
They might do a band or something, a plaster band or some way of breaking it down a little more. I'm sure there's lots of ways to look at it, but the idea is get it to be a little less dominant, and there might be ways of doing it. So if we just leave it open, I think that.
Okay.
That
I
kind
just am concerned that we give them good instruction so they don't get running around trying to redesign something that's pretty difficult to, it has constraints.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything else we should? All right. So that's a summary of I'll look for a motion for an indefinite continuance with those comments.
So moved.
All right. We have a
Second.
motion, and we have a second by Commissioner Lodge. Thank you. All right.
Yes,
Sure.
what would be a good way to show that 3D, I mean, like a drone, use a drone? How do I get a picture from up there of the neighbors and what you're trying to prove?
It might be that you would do it as simply as, like, you have the elevations, right, that you modeled, and just have that with the footprint and kind of model it, and then just take the shot roughly that helps to understand, because I think the backyards are behind, and I think there's good angles that you have going for you.
So you want like a 3D modeling?
Yeah. So I
Or
think
even a section.
even a massing.
Even a section
yeah.
through with the neighbors on either side. And then also showing you've talked about these planters with some kind of a feathered edge that would kind of keep people away from the side. I think, don't you think something?
Well, so the problem I see with the section is they're also offset a little bit and so a section might be a little deceptive. It might help you more unless it was an angled section, which would be weird. If you just do a basic massing model and then put yourself on there and see how things, I think that could be enough to.
So these are some of the things we're looking at. Go up there. These guys, yeah, this kind of, some custom iron thing.
Yeah. Oh, that'll fall under the general thing of the looking for ways to keep privacy. So
Very good.
yeah, when you come back, bring the things that you're thinking. All right. So now we have a motion and a second. Under any other discussion before we vote? All right. Roll call vote, please.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge, Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right. Great. Thank you very
much.
much.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks for all your hard work. All right, so now we are on to item 3, continued item for concept review, 901 State Street. This is located in EPV. Proposal for the redevelopment of the existing 3-story commercial building to provide a new performance hall, dressing rooms, offices, private recording studio spaces, practice rooms, teaching studios, ensemble, percussion studio, student lounge, and rooftop event space. The project includes new stair and elevator tower to allow access to all levels, including the basement and rooftop lobby. The project proposes construction of 2,900 square foot of new non-residential floor area and a height increase to accommodate the tower additions. The project was designated a community benefit project by the City Council on December 16, 2025. As currently designed, the project requires HLC approval of a development plan for the new non-residential floor area. Prior to HLC approval and the development plan, Planning Commission must make the required height findings to allow the proposed addition to exceed the max height of 45 feet in the CG zone. A voluntary lot merger is also proposed, and no final appealable action will take place at this meeting. Project compatibility findings and development plan findings will be required for project design approval. Project was last reviewed December 3rd, 2025. All right, welcome. So if you would introduce yourselves, and then we will go to the minutes from last time, and then any staff comments as well, actually before the minutes, and then we'll be back to you for the 15-minute presentation.
Sure. Heidi Jones, land use consultant.
Michael Holliday, DMHA Architecture.
And good afternoon, Commissioners. Carly Ernest, I'm the case planner, and we do have the minutes from when they were last here up on the screen, which we can go through. But just for your motion today, if you can please comment on the height findings. Since they were last here, they were designated a community benefit project by City Council, which allows them to propose the amount of non-residential square footage as well as exceed the 45-foot height limit. So they can go up to 60, but that's with Planning Commission making those required findings that you should comment on today. And then, just after Planning Commission is when they'll return to you for project design approval and the development plan. And at that time, we'll make those findings.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right, so we'll go to our motion from last time, and the motion was to continue indefinitely with the comments. The commission is extremely excited about this project and is looking forward to the Music Academy of the West bringing their great talent downtown to State Street. 2, the commission is supportive of the mass, bulk, and scale of the towers and the height exception that will be required. 3, the study the aesthetics of the tower corner and the intersection with the Paseo to make sure that the design is El Pueblo Viejo appropriate while being exceptionally creative. 4, the commission suggests bringing in music through rhythm in windows and openings or other artful ways into the design of this facade. 5, the commission looks forward to the development of signage and finding a way to show the interior design on the outside. 6, return with the neighborhood comparative analysis of heights and other requirements to the findings being made for the tower height exceptions. 7, the community benefit project height findings are generally supportable. The commission would like to see the project returned before going to Planning Commission. Finding A has been met and C is not applicable, but B and D need more development before the findings can be made. Okay, and that was Commissioner Uli and seconded by Commissioner Ensberg, 900, the motion carried. All right, so with that, and we had comments from staff, so you have 15 minutes. Want to tell us how you address those and any other changes that were made or any other things you want us weighing in on?
Great, thank you. Good afternoon. We're grateful to be back here today to go over the project updates with you and grateful for the support that you provided to our team last time through review. Ownership representatives are here today if you have any questions for them, but we are looking forward to meeting our goal and moving forward with getting those height findings and coming back for project design approval and development plan review.
All right.
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair, members of the commission, my name is Michael Holliday. Really honored to be here today, and I'm representing Brooks Scarpa, the interior architects, and so we're going to try to really hit the comments and not really review anything that we showed you last time, but we have really, we think, addressed the musically Spanish request for the exterior. So cover sheet there, I'm just going to go through these pretty quick. Oh, there we go. Sideways.
That was good, yeah.
There we go. So that's it, and that's what the interior looks like. Let's get to the beginning here. It looks like this is the reverse of the what I'm used to. So this is a cover sheet. You guys have seen the exterior photos. We're going to zoom into these in context. This is the State Street elevation, which essentially is being, the only thing that we're really changing right here is removing this little area, and we're adding a little bit of, the height is staying the same, but we're adding some additional width up here because we're creating a new roof deck. But this is all going to be restored. All the woodwork's going to be restored and the building repainted, but all of the detail is going to basically remain as existing. It's pretty quick here. I'm going to go back. Let me go to the beginning here. What's that?
There's a mouse.
Maybe this is going to get us better. Click. Okay, here we go. We'll do one at a time instead of on the right. We're going to cover a lot of these really quickly, but kind of focus on your issues. So there's the initial. There's this context. There's the State Street. Here, this is the elevation. So the only thing that's really changing is the width of this. This tower is actually about 20 feet back. So the State Street elevation is essentially a restoration of the State Street facade. And there's our little kind of freehand watercolor image of what that's going to look like. On the back side is where our primary tower is going, and this is required because it's for access and service to the building. So what we've done is we totally redid this tower, and we think the comments that you provided last time were appropriate. So this is the new tower that basically is, tying in with sort of the El Pueblo Viejo design guidelines. This is that archway that's existing, and this is a new service door that's right here. This is an existing or a new rolling coil door right here. This is a service door. So these two openings here on the back side of the building. And this is the entrance, which is not a primary entrance to the building. So this just gives you a sense for what the back side of it is going to look like. And then there's a kind of full color sketch. We've got a computer model we're going to show you. It's more realistic, but trying to keep it really simple, and you'll see how we think this integrates well with the building. There's an existing corner shot. All of this front is going to all be restored and redone. So it's essentially preserving and enhancing. There's the existing elevations. We can come back to these if there's any questions. But essentially what we've done when we looked at this was the end of the building, let me go back to this, is essentially right here. And there's a band, there's an existing molding that goes across here, and then our piece is to try to integrate with the rest of the building, which is what the commission asked us to do, and I think that was probably the right call. So what we've done is we've removed that little band that's going across there and added in another arch window that matches these other arch windows. Essentially the same height, a little bit different width because we got some criteria with exit stairs, and then a little kind of round window here, and then this sort of, we think this kind of captures the spirit of that musically integrated tower piece that sort of really complements the rest of the building. Here it is in Revit. Here's our hand-drawn elevation. This is in the background, which obviously won't be seen from the street, but it gives you a sense for what's going on. We are going to add some new photovoltaic panels up on top of this, which is actually going to be unperceptible. You can't see it from the street, but we have to. So this existing cornice is going to remain, and then this little element is kind of how we've tried to integrate this into the rest of the building. So now the whole structure hangs together as sort of one cohesive idea. And there's the elevation. So I'm going to kind of present all of this in a little bit more detail. This is up on the roof deck, and this is our overrun for the elevator tower and our stairway, and then we've got two restrooms on top. So we're just trying to kind of downplay these elements and then play up the tower element because it's right out there on Cannon Perdido. Then the other thing is the landscape. So here's our sketch layering in the large trees that are there to give you a sense for how this it kind of feels like the courthouse. If you look at the courthouse, there's a lot of disparate elements, and we think this is a sort of good way to think about this particular building and this particular tower. There's the corner elevation there. Here's a computer model showing what it's going to look like. So the idea is sort of a seamless integration with the rest of the structure. A new planter here in the back, leaving all of this existing archway, so really trying to make it a sort of complementary addition to the existing building. All of the detailing is actually matching what's there, so it's going to be very compatible. I'm not going to go through all the floor plans, but basically this just shows you the street plan. Also, the Music Academy doesn't want people coming in the back of the building. This is for exit egress only and for staff entry, so everybody's coming around to the front of the building and coming in here. So that's why we're really trying to sort of downplay that back side of the building as much as possible. This gives you the lower level plan. You guys saw this last time. It's all restrooms and program space. This is the floor plan, the main level floor plan. So we think that this integration with the interior and the exterior is going to be pretty complementary, that you're going to actually see some of this from the interior, so this glazing system will be open, but we can come back and talk about this. These are second levels if we need to talk about them. Second, third, this is our Aurora space, so we're actually carving square footage out of the building to allow this skylight up on the roof deck to let light penetrate down into the whole building. So this is our new roof deck element, which you guys didn't see. We didn't have this last time, so these are the new tile roof elements. Some new landscape planters up on top, and some suggestions on the plant palette. So this gives you a sense. We are going to do a rooftop bar area here and a large tree that sort of complements a little bit of the yin-yang between the tree element and the. We're actually interested to see how the light casts down into the skylight there. This is a computer rendering of the roof deck, which these are the mountains in the background, so we took that exact same view and just sort of showed what that's going to look like and feel like. We think it's going to be a great downtown space for the Music Academy and for the community to enjoy. Some other elements there to show looking back. This is some details that we've got that show this is what's built on the existing building, and then this is the detail, lower eave detail on that small tower. So we're trying to sort of make a clear distinction between what's more significant and important, and then what we're kind of trying to downplay a little bit. These are the sections, which again, just for reference, you saw these last time, but this is where we've carved out all this square footage. And the reason we did this is because this is set up to accommodate a 95-peak orchestra, so we need the volumetrics of that space to be acoustically tunable. So that's kind of a unique feature of the whole design here. A couple other sections. All of the heights here, the minimum that they need to be for the elevator overrun, so we've really tried to pull down the tower heights as much as we can, but it's still got to be functional. And this shows why this elevator tower provides access to that upper level roof deck. We can come back to any of these that you have questions on. Again, sections that we've got cut all through the building. These are some of the computer generated images of the inside. It's really a musically inspired interior. And the idea behind this is that all of the tuning that needs to happen behind these elements are going to be invisible. Essentially, you're not going to see it, but we're trying to make it kind of musically interesting. This is the Aurora space. So again, that's what that interior is going to look like with the light pouring down. So whether it's a small quartet or if it's a much larger orchestra, that's why the space kind of resonates with the scale of the performance. Gives you a few ideas on what that's going to look like. Then you asked us to do some comparative studies with the heights. Here is it's 56 feet and 9 inches. Both of these towers are almost the same. And this is the sort of worst case condition of the building right next door. But the good news is we got a lot of towers immediately in that area that are right up. I'll probably jump down to this one. Here's right across the street, 56 feet, 6 inches. Ours is 59 feet. So we're really right in scale with what, is down there in the area. Obviously on State Street, 75 feet. So there's some buildings next door that are significantly larger, but we've cut sections up and down the street. And then we've got some area calculations here. So see what else we got here. This is just a demo plan that if there's any question about what we're taking off. But really this was where we wanted to kind of show you the comparative height studies with the sections. So here to answer any questions that you have, but that concludes our presentation.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's now open public comment.
Thank you. At this time, I don't have any speaker slips for in-person public comment, but if anyone in the room would like to speak, you can approach the podium at this time. But I'm not seeing any movement towards the podium. We do have 3 participants online with us, so if anyone online would like to speak, you can raise your hand at this time. But I'm not seeing any raised hands, and we did not receive any written correspondence for this item, so I'll give it back to you.
All right, thank you. All right, back to the commission then for questions. Any questions? Commissioner Butler?
Just two things, and keep that right there, that's perfect. One of the comments we made last time was thinking about or studying or considering adding music to the windows to sort of express the intent of the building, if you thought about that. And then my other question was, in the new tower, actually the window looks bigger there. In one of the earlier renderings, that window in the new tower on the left looked really small, so yeah, I mean, it's fine. Did you do something or think about back to the window question?
Yes, can I respond?
Yes, please.
Great, thanks for the question. We love that idea. And I think we're going to try to look at integrating that with signage as we look at the exterior, which obviously will be a separate submittal. There's a couple different opportunities. Obviously, all of this is all existing, so we're leaving that. This is the only thing that we're adding right here is on the corner. Right in this area, we want to provide some wrought iron detailing and so forth, and then some gates right around the corner here for the, just so they, after hours, it can be closed off so it doesn't become an attractive nuisance with people sleeping in there. So we thought that would be a nice way of musically inspired wrought iron work that looks different than anything else you might see up and down. And we actually love haven't sketched it yet, but we've done some little ideas like how could this look like a musical exterior expression of what's going on in the interior. And we'd like to see the same thing happen on the front, so that in some way we felt like signage or graphics is the best way to kind of pull that out to the exterior without messing up the building and getting, making it part of the architecture. So the gates and the wrought iron work down below at the rear entry and probably something at the front is where we're thinking about that, as well as graphics and signage, because I think the Music Academy really, that's going to be an important part of what they want people to walk by there and know what this is. And so we think there's some opportunity there.
So I had a question tied to that. Can you go to the plan at the corner of the tower, of the openings there? But maybe
the plan?
We'll go to the plan and zoom in on the tower at ground level.
That's good. This way. At the ground level?
Yeah, ground level. If you could zoom into that tower.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so there's an opening
Here.
there.
And then we have to the request has been to put some gates right here that fold back. So we're thinking at this area would be kind of a fun place to be able to get a little bit more creative on. It's the 2 entries of the building. It's this corner right here and then the front. So we felt like that's a good opportunity.
So, okay, I'll give you where I'm going with it first, and then maybe you can explain what's working or not working. So it's seeming like there's a weak corner, because you've got openings on both sides, and especially the main opening is really tight to the corner. So it feels like it's a big tower, but with a weak corner, because that doesn't feel very massive in the corner. Do you need to have the opening? Because I'm not seeing, it's obviously not you're not passing through to where the steps are, right, from the sidewalk, so you're not passing through that space. Is there a reason you need that opening, or could the opening be smaller so the corner feels heavier and more massive? You know what I mean?
Oh, reduce the size of it?
Yeah, because it's just, when you look at both elevations, you've got big openings right on both sides of the corner, which makes it feel like the tallest tower has the least support on the corner.
Sure, we could look
at
okay.
Elevation.
Yeah, let's go look at that elevation. Yeah, there's an opportunity there.
Okay.
Let's.
Because functionally, you just need the passage.
Yeah. So this doesn't need to be that big. Could easily be a slit. Could be we need this for a minimum egress, but this one could be almost anything we want. Maybe,
okay, great.
Maybe that's an opportunity.
Okay. Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't some other function for
We
it.
felt, we studied about a half a dozen different solutions, and we felt like, reflecting this rhythm that goes across here, and then this actually looks pretty cool on the elevations, this sort of musical, you almost can see it, it seems like it works, and
Yeah.
maybe this is a good idea, just reducing the size of that, and playing this up, and let this be just an open, some kind of interesting opening there.
Okay, great.
Can it go away also?
Good?
Just question.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Any other questions? Commissioner Jordan.
Just a question about the roof treatment. There's a difference between the Revit drawings and the watercolors, because the watercolors show the red tile, and the Revit shows a solar panel.
On the plans? You want to?
On the elevations?
On the elevations.
What, do you want to see, the elevations or plan?
Elevations.
What I want to know is, what's the roof going to look like? Is it red tile with a solar panel on top?
That's correct. Yeah, this was what's there right now, and we just rendered it up the way it is. We do need to provide the solar panels that are on there, and when you go, so it's going, the Revit elevations are showing it. Let me go back to that then.
Right.
We do have to provide, yeah, right here. These PV panels have to sit on top of this. We have nowhere else to put them, frankly. But the good news is, from down the street level, if we go look at from what it looks like down below, you can't see it.
Yeah.
So we, even from all the way over on the other side of the street, so it's going to be virtually invisible, but it's a solar panel.
Yeah.
On top of the tile roof.
Okay.
Okay.
Other questions?
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Ensberg.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a couple questions. On why is it called an Aurora? What's that?
The Oculus was another, it's something we've come up with a name
just
for
a
what
new-
this is, and
okay.
it's sort of, we're calling it affectionately the Aurora
Okay,
space.
okay. I like that. Okay, so then, now this is just kind of an odd question. So in that one picture you showed, I think it was a rendering of the roof deck.
Uh-huh.
And it was, rendered with the light coming out.
Let's see, go to the.
It was a floor plan of the roof.
Yeah, that's going to be at the end of the plans here. I
Okay,
think they go
sorry.
all the way to the roof. Bam.
And then there was one that was, keep going, it was showing people up there, so, okay. So this is just a very strange question, but it almost is working like a light fixture, isn't it? You know, the light is coming up out of this opening from inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious about, night sky compliance and whether or not there's anything that you might want to think about with respect to that. I like it. I'm just wondering about when you're throwing light up into the.
Yeah.
So you might want to just check that out. And then the other thing, so on the windows on Cannon Perdido, you cannot see into the performance space, can you? Like if you were walking along, you wouldn't be able to see in there, or could you? To see the aurora?
At the front entry, you will.
You
Let's go look at, so I got some sections here to sort of show, we're trying to keep the building as transparent as possible, but also to be sensitive to the sound issues.
Yes.
So here's where these interior images show kind of what you would be able to see. So the idea is that you would get glimpses. It's not blackout windows. So that
Okay.
you would get glimpses of what's happening there on the interior, and we're probably going to have window, Mecco shades that drop down to go to, full blackout space if we can.
Right.
But that's the idea,
I
was that
think-
it's got some transparency. For different venues, we think are going to have different needs for natural light. And so if it's a small quartet, maybe they want to be able to see cars driving by. Acoustically, it's going to be as isolated as we can make it. But the light, we definitely need to control. So there'll be some shades that'll be like a 50% knockout and probably 100% blackout, so that if it's a
But
black.
it's flexible,
Yeah.
but it does allow, which is, I think, extremely cool, that you can actually, in this very El Pueblo Viejo Spanish-style exterior, be able to get a glimpse of this whole other thing on the
Yeah.
inside. So yes, so your answer is yes, that you would. And that's what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Okay, and then my last question is, on that exit we were talking about a minute ago, is that, what about handicap accessibility? Do you have to have a ramp on the end too, back there? For handicap egress? I know the front is accessible, but the rear, you've got stairs going down there?
Yeah, our primary path of travel and the main public entry is to the front. That's all we have to have. So we've met with the city because you don't have to have every exit handicap accessible. We meet the egress requirements and no one's coming in, the public entrance is, the main public entrance is accessible. So we don't have to have that rear exit have a ramp.
Right, I'm just, this is not really.
Good point.
What
No,
we
we're-
talk about, I just, you think about, okay, well, what if there was a fire in the front, and how would they get out the back if that were the case? So I was just curious about whether or not that was, how that was being handled, how people could get out if there was that situation.
All right.
That's all.
All right.
Thank you.
So who wants to kick us off with comments? And we want to make sure we cover, oops, sorry, I'm just, project compatibility findings, which we've already covered previously, and assuming that this design still meets with those, with our previous comments. And yeah, and then also what they're thinking about the new design and the new tower especially. So who wants to kick us off? Commissioner Jordan?
I'll start off, and I'll have a comment about the roof deck, since I commented on an earlier application, and I said it was about finding the balance. This is a case where I'm very supportive of it. It's in the center of town. It's not in a residential neighborhood. So I think this is a perfect place to do this and to have lots of people up there and have stuff happening up there. This is a case where it works for that. The other comment that I have, I think it's a terrific project. I'm very supportive. I may be a minority on the commission in terms of the issue of the transparency of the shell and the visibility of the interior space. Because conceptually, for me, this is a pearl inside an oyster shell. And that space is just going to be so dynamic. It's the pearl inside the rectilinear shell. And after the first week that this is open, everybody in town is going to know that's there and want to go see that space. So I don't think you need to make it super transparent to tell people what's going on inside, but I may be a minority there. Very supportive of the project. I think the roof terrace is entirely appropriate in this specific location in the center of town.
Thank you.
All right, who wants to?
Mr. Chair, I'll go. Could you go to the rendered landscape plan from Plan View? I just think you should omit the palm tree idea, because I think some of these low billowy dark green things that come up from the parapet, above the parapet, are appropriate, but I don't think I don't think it would be good to have palm tree kind of exclamation points shooting up, real high. So that's my comment.
The Mexican fan palm.
Okay. All right.
I concur with Commissioner Jordan's comments. I think this is a really exciting, wonderful project.
Thanks. Sheila? Thought you liked the traditional design after seeing the last one, so it's for you.
Thank you, and thank you so much for the good work, and it's just really great. Could you go to the elevation, the side elevation there? I am completely in support. I think you've done a great job of pulling it all together. I like the way the new tower is. That whole end piece looks really beautiful now. I think it ties in well, and I think the whole building looks a lot better than it did before. As far as that one window, I appreciate Chair Grumbine's comments because it's so thick on the right side, so maybe on the left, even though when you come around the corner, it's a totally different thing. But so I think it's great, and I appreciate what Commissioner Jordan said as well. I guess I'm interested in the glimpse part, just kind of these little teasers that, it's like, oh, wow, that's that building, And sometimes it would be visible and other times it wouldn't. And it's just like we can say, like the Lobero Theater, our other theaters do not have visibility. Usually performance spaces are isolated. But, and then when you go into the Lobero, you're like blown away at how gorgeous it is and everything. But, so anyway, a glimpse, I think, could be cool in this situation. And then the last thing I would say is that, you know, maybe in terms of, you talked about the graphic design and the signage stuff, maybe this whole Aurora graphic, maybe that could be, maybe you could design some sort of a special light fixture that could be that design somehow.
that's good.
And maybe that could be sort of a jewelry piece that could be tying into this whole, the pearl, as it were.
Yeah.
So, great job and very excited, and thank you to the Music Academy for doing this and for all the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Commissioner Butler?
Love it. It's going to bring a new kind of energy to State Street.
Yeah.
I think the architectural aspects are really important, but I think that aspect is actually even more important. So
How could you say that? Isn't it all about architecture?
I'm not the architect. But this is wonderful, and it's great. Love it.
Thank you. All right. And then I'll wrap up with my comments. Agree with fellow commissioners. Incredibly great job. Thank you for bringing it more EPV and adding music and poetry. I really do like especially how you picked up the rhythm that was previously established. You skipped over it, and then it does feel actually musical in which the way the power
Kinda
climbs.
how we played it.
So yeah, it totally does feel like
Black keys, white keys.
Yeah, nice. It totally. It feels like that you were working that. So an excellent solution, excellent design solution. So. Yeah, I'll give a quick summary here of all the comments.
Pardon
and then,
my interruption,
Oh.
Mr. Chair. I'm just stepping on your toes
Yeah.
early. If we could just bring up the community benefit project height findings, just for you to comment on those and incorporate that into your motion as well.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'll summarize the comments, and I'm assuming that there's going to be a motion and for continuation to Planning Commission, right, and to return. What's our sequence here?
Correct. Continue to the Planning Commission.
Okay. So to motion to continue the Planning Commission with the following comments, and then whoever wants to make the motion can make those community benefit findings as well.
Pardon my interruption, just to clarify, I don't think you are making the findings, you're just commenting
On the
aesthetic
findings. Got it.
appropriateness of
Yes,
those.
so Planning Commission makes the findings, but
Got
if
it.
you could assist them in.
With our
Yes.
thoughts on those. Okay, great. So first, the commission thanks the applicant, Music Academy of the West, and the architect and team for a wonderful project and for listening well to our comments and responding in an artful way. So the tower, the new tower design is very supportable and with well, this is very supportable. We'll just put that, and including the height, the new heights of both towers are superb, supportable, and appropriate. The landscaping to omit the palms as part of the palette, or at least if they're visible from the anything visible from the street. So to continue to study the corner of the tower, especially making the corner massing more solid by either shrinking the opening on the sidewalk or some other way. So just as you study, continue to develop it. What else is there that is, I think everything else is great.
Thank you.
All right. And then we know where you're going with some of the other stuff, so I don't think we need to comment on the signage or other things like that. But I think we'll see it as you continue to develop it. And then I think it's going to be a matter of making that motion and then making additional comments. I'll make the comments and the findings, and then someone can make a motion for it. So let's see. Can you go back to the height? Do you want a comment on the height?
Yes, we'll pull those up.
So that on the community benefit project height findings that, that there was a need demonstrated, so A is met, that the architecture and design will be exemplary, so it's supportable in that way, the towers. The livability.
You can skip that one,
you
that's
can
for
skip that
residential,
one,
yeah.
Yep. And then D, it's also sensitive to its context and appropriate with other towers and other large buildings in the neighborhood. Okay. And then, is there any other things that need to be made before we have a motion?
That covers it, thank you.
Okay, so does someone want to make a motion with those comments and to continue for the Planning Commission?
I would be honored to make the motion to accept the findings as has been stated and to move to continue to Planning Commission. Does anything else need to be said?
I think that
And with
covers
the
it.
comments that have already been stated and the findings that were read.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Under discussion, any further discussion? All right, roll call vote, please.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner McClure,
Here, yes?
Commissioner Lodge,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden,
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Great, thank you
Excellent
very much.
project. Thank you.
We've also
All right.
had interest from rock and roll bands and like doing MTV videos in this space. So aside from orchestras and quartets, there might be some other music happening in there sometime soon.
I'm sure there
Thank
will
you.
be.
So the
Great.
dichotomy between the exterior and the interior makes a lot of sense, I think, so.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good job.
Okay, now we are on to item 4, 320 West Carrillo Street, located in EPV and designated as structure of merit. The Bates House was constructed in 1904 in the Queen Anne Free Classic style, proposed for a new 4-story, 35-unit residential building, the on-site relocation of the existing historic resource. The project should be developed under the city's AUD program and state density bonus law. Project includes a demolition of the existing 1-story commercial building, 2-car garage, and 21 surface parking spaces. The structure of merit would be relocated from the rear of the property to the front of the property along West Carrillo Street and would be converted back to a duplex with 2 3-bedroom units. Vehicle access to the site would occur at the rear of the property. The 2 existing driveways along West Carrillo Street would be removed. 5 on-site trees would be removed. Final approval is requested. Project plans must demonstrate substantial conformance to the plans that received project design approval on May 22nd, 2024. Project last reviewed in progress on January 14th, 2026. All right, so welcome. And to, if you would introduce yourselves for the record, and then we'll go to staff if there are any comments, and then you can have 15 minutes to present. And we'll go, we'll go over the motion from last time as well.
Okay, Brian Cornell.
Steve Noon.
Nicole Greer, landscape architect.
All right. And then I'm assuming there's no comments from staff.
No comments from staff at this time. I am notifying the case planner. She's at the counter right now, so I'll have her come and she might jump in with some comments later on. So
Okay,
I'll have you go through the minutes right
problem.
now and you can
Okay,
go to her
sounds
for
good.
comments after.
I'll just read very slowly. Okay, no, the last time was a motion to continue indefinitely with the following comments. The commission thanks the applicant team for their continued hard work and beautiful development. Study the tower and consider making it wider or less leggy. Refine the proportions and detailing. Study the bollard to make it more like a tower element and take into consideration the chamfer. 3, the light fixtures are acceptable as proposed. 4, study the entry gate trellis on Carrillo Street and develop how to bridge the 2 buildings and styles. 5, the hardscape design and materials are acceptable as submitted, with the material board to be updated with the proposed options from this meeting. 6, the new tile design for the storefront is acceptable and appreciated. 7, the green color that has been proposed for the awnings and windows is acceptable, though half the commission would like the applicant to return with a more vibrant color option. 8, the change in the 4th floor covered patio is acceptable as proposed. 9, the mail building and utility shed are designed well and acceptable as proposed. 10, the paving is acceptable as proposed. 11, the commission looks forward to the Bates House being restored, historic resource, and the colors that will be presented. The motion was by Uli, the second was by Butler, 8-0-0. The motion carried. All right. Okay. So with that, if you would take us through, make sure you cover all those comments as well as any of the new stuff, especially to do with meeting final approval.
Okay, well, let's start with the tower. So we took your comments to heart, and so this is the new tower. I've basically eliminated that mid-span tile roof and just done a nice little corbel detail, or not, whatever we want to call that, up to the narrower tower. We have a detail of that screen. There will be an ornamental screen, as you see on that. So I think it's much more successful. Appreciate your comments on that. On the colors, I will tell you that we, as much as I took to heart Commissioner Ensberg's comments, we've kept the colors the same. I really think this building should be an understated building, so we're sticking with the green windows and the awnings as proposed. Sorry, Cass. And the front gate, we'll go to that. Basically, we've done away with that whole trellis element because it sort of conflicted with that new little mail building. So this is basically the wrought iron that will be between that Bates house and then the new building. And obviously, it needs to be secure, hence the sort of extra grading that you see. The Bates house, by the way, is going to be a separate submittal as far as the colors and everything, so that's not part of this approval. So we'll be returning to you with the colors for that eventually. Obviously, it has to first be moved for this project to be built. So I think that's it. Nicole, did you have anything that you needed to review? Or if you would like to look at the landscape?
Yeah, I mean, nothing from the comments, but since we've been here last time, we have full planting plans that we didn't have last time.
Yeah, so I'll take a look at those.
And irrigation, it starts on page 126. Doesn't say it. Or I can just drive, if that's easier. Maybe let's just trade. So this is the overall site plan that we have today, and I'll mention a couple of things. We sort of modified the planting area so that each unit has some small planting area. And that's just kind of like really minor, but the major change was that we eliminated 4 proposed trees that we had on this elevation. And that's because this transformer is pulling power from Carrillo down here, so there's a big electrical trench in addition to the storm drain that's running on this side. So unfortunately that had to go, and we really looked at other options, but without like totally encroaching into all these private patios. There's really nothing we could get of substantial height there. I was thinking just today that we could potentially find a place for 2 new trees. I'll just show it here on the screen.
City TV, if you can take a shot of this. Or down here at the.
Apparently not.
That's where they've been.
We have lots of clips here at the city and tape. We have lots of rolls of tape and paper clips.
Maybe she could just hold it up.
Can you turn the camera down to the table?
Yeah, just give it to her to hold it up.
Yeah, give it to Jeff.
Thank you.
There's always a.
Oh my God, we're gonna crash.
Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Can you turn it around? I don't know. Is that the right orientation for you guys?
Well, that's not the way we had it on the.
There we go.
Yeah,
Right,
there you go.
yeah.
Okay, pull it down towards
There
you.
we go.
Thanks.
So we were really focused on whether or not we could get trees right on that east property line.
which we can't. And so then I didn't really think about, well, we could just have additional kind of small flowering trees in these pink circles, just to kind of offset that loss of mass, biomass. So if that's acceptable to the commission, I just wanted to throw that out there. It's not in the plans, but it's something that I was thinking about.
Okay.
And then otherwise, I'll show you the planting.
And, sorry to, because it's asking for final as well, do you have options on your plans for that type of tree? Or can you give us
Yeah, so this,
ones that you're thinking this would be?
yeah, so we have those 5 trees that you can see there are the Fostamon. So the one by the transformer that's on the north side of the plan north would be the Fostamon, which is already on the plans.
These ones right here?
Yes, and so then that pink one across from those would also be the same.
Got it. Okay.
And then the one that's close to the Bates house, we don't have on the schedule, but I was proposing Lagerstromia, which is a crepe myrtle, which is more sort of Victorian flowering, more appropriate for that Victorian garden we have planned around the Bates house.
Okay, great, thanks.
And
So
then
the pink is not, is just highlighting that
Yes,
they're not
yeah.
really pink.
They're not really
Even
pink.
though we like more color.
The crepe myrtle,
Crepe myrtle might be.
I could make it pink. I was proposing
Yeah, no, I'm just
White.
kidding. I was just making a small joke.
She's very pro-pink today.
Can you match your blouse?
there's a lot of pink actually on the commission today.
Yes, yes, indeed.
So this is the full planting plan. I mentioned those additional trees. One would be here at the transformer, the Lafostamon, and one would be here between what we're showing as bike racks and then the mail building, and then this little seating area. So the tree would be right sort of in here where we have this other symbol. That would be the crepe myrtle. I have to sort of make sure it's clear of this underwater or underground storm chamber. It's not underwater, it's full of water. Everything else, what we have is like very drought tolerant. We have some shade species here in the middle. We have a lot of kind of palms in this atrium, and then like green flowering or white flowering plants. And then this design here, kind of as you come in, we've got a hedge. Let me just zoom in. A hedge at that gate. This is the gate and the fence, because it is just a metal picket. So we want to provide some privacy from Carrillo to these residents. This is the flagstone area we saw before. It's just a seating area opposite. This is bike storage in here. So the idea is you could meet a guest or something, or wait while someone parks their bike under a beautiful crepe myrtle. And then the rest is pretty, Santa Barbara, Mediterranean in character. We have a DG area here that's a little bit new-ish. There's flagstone pavers here in a ground cover, that's the Inicio ground cover, leading to this DG area, which would be like a pet relief for the residents. Because the units in the Bates house, they don't have direct access because it's raised. So it's more useful as communal space. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I'm just gonna keep going. Okay. This is our hydrosome plan. So everything in yellow is low, and only the blue is medium. All of our trees are just on one valve because of the palms. So they'll all get adequate water. And the lighting, I wanted to show you that, but because it's here. So we have a path light. This is also new since last time. It's just a really simple black kind of traditional path light, and that was hard to see a little bit, but it would basically be lining this entrance from the vehicular area off the alley. And then on both sides of the gate, and then kind of heading towards this main entrance to the units, and then this pet relief area is going to be illuminated as well. I think that's it for,
Happy to
That's new.
show you anything else you'd like to see.
Yeah, considering it's 145 pages, maybe if there are some, the detail areas that we can just flip through real quick.
Yeah, Steve, could you
of
just
the
go to the detail
architectural
sheets?
details,
Yeah.
that might be the last thing to check off.
I never attempt to operate that.
Yeah.
I would make,
It's probably better that way.
I would make more of a fool of myself than I do already.
Yeah, just kind of flipping through those.
Yeah, so this is that's the storefront on the lower right there, storefront details, so it'll have the beveled stops for that storefront system. You can see the typical eaves, which are very simple, I think in keeping with the building. Next sheet. So our sort of splayed condition that's at the stair tower, and then this is, let's see, the upper wall section just kind of shows that banding that happens between floors. And you can obviously see the recess in the windows, which is important there, and the splay under the typical windows. Same here, obviously, we have to have the gutters go around that band condition, so we're showing that. Next detail. Those two conditions there are the venting that's inside the mansard roof condition. That detail on the upper row, second from the right, that's the transition to the solar panels. So basically, we're putting the solar panels, or no, that's the roof vent. I'm sorry, that's the roof vent. Yeah, for the tile roof. I'm sorry. And we do have a condition, I think, where we show the solar panels. So where they are, we have just asphalt shingles underneath them, and then we have a leading edge of tile. Is that on the next page, Steve, or?
Yeah. There's a conductor head, a couple of locations out towards Carrillo, towards the front. That's those two.
And those are all copper? That's the tower.
These are the new transition.
Yeah, and then there's the transition to the solar panels, so you will see the leading edge at least of those, where those panels are, so they'll be set down, so they are basically flush with the top of the roof tiles. It's tough detail.
Yeah.
But, you know, we think this will work. And then the little mail room, these are a little small, but I think you reviewed that before. The typical awning condition.
You can keep flipping through. I just wanted at least.
And then that's just that one little balcony that's up over the bike room facing onto Carrillo. And that's just the little roof over the elevator door on that elevator tower.
Typical railing.
And kitchen cabinets.
All right. Can you zoom in on those kitchen cabinets? No. All right. So does that complete your presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So we'll go now to public comment.
Thank you. At this time, I don't have any speaker slips for in-person public comment. We do not have anyone online with us, and we didn't receive any written correspondence for this item, so I'll give it back to you.
All right. To the commission for questions? Any questions? All right. No questions. All right. That's good. I don't have questions either. So let's go to comments. Who wants to kick us off? And this is coming to us for final.
Right.
So if everyone's feeling good with where this is, we can go have a motion for final approval. And then I think the one thing we do need to add to that is if we're okay with, and I think to you, if we're okay, Commissioner McClure, okay for the landscape tree options.
I think I would add
presented.
it, sure.
Okay, great. Okay, so any thoughts? Besides, yeah.
I think that what we were just showed demonstrates substantial conformance to the plans we saw the last time.
And nice refinements and developments. Yeah.
And nice refinements and developments.
And I apologize about not making the awnings yellow.
You only have to apologize to one of us if they're strongly in particular.
There are other colors.
I know.
There's pink.
There are a lot of other colors.
All right. Okay, so who wants to make a motion for final approval?
I'll make a motion for final approval of the 320 West Carrillo Street.
All right, who wants to second it?
Second.
All right, Commissioner Butler, second. Under discussion? Any further discussion?
Do you want to, you have?
Oh, yeah, sorry,
adding
with the
trees.
note that of the trees, as presented in the meeting, the 2 additional trees are acceptable as presented.
With the additional trees as presented in the meeting.
Yep, because I'm not going to try the name of the first one. All right. Okay, and the seconder is okay with that as well?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's have a roll call vote.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Lodge,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes?
Commissioner Dorden,
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes.
Commissioner McClure,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. Great job.
Appreciate it.
All right. Okay, so is there, oh, and that is appealable to city council within 10 days. Okay, great. Anything else? Or are we good?
We're good.
All right, meeting is adjourned.